Did you steal my art tone?
No, I didn't steal it. I was going to. Hey, welcome to Crippled System, episode 253. Is it a prime number?
No, I don't.
I was going to, like a couple episodes ago when we hit 251.
Yeah.
I was going to yell at you guys on 252, which is last week's episode, about not saying 251 is a prime number. You guys completely missed it. There was no discussion about prime number that episode.
Yeah, I think.
Were you not on, Andy? I didn't.
We were live.
I think 253 is prime. Let me double check.
No, I know 251 is prime because I was ashamed of myself afterwards because I did some quick math, and for some reason I thought like 13 or 17 or something divided into it. And
Sure.
I knew that none of the Yeah, oh well. It's my own failure.
So before we get to announcements, are we going to do introductions?
Well, yeah, you should probably get up closer to your mic there because we are live now.
You are a mile away from your microphone. Compare yourself to the other three of us.
Okay.
Yes.
No, like literally, you are a foot away from your microphone. Everyone else is 4 inches from their microphone.
Okay, let me
There
try
we
that
go.
again.
That is a little bit
far
better.
Yes. Your microphone needs intimate attention.
All right.
Yeah.
You can always fist it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Use a fist.
Yeah.
In place there. Just put like a fist in front of your mouth. If you're that far away from the mic thing, then you're fine.
Mission accomplished.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, 253 is a triangular number, but it's not prime.
Okay. Moving on.
It's also a Blum integer.
I don't need to know
Obviously,
this
it's a Blum integer.
shit. Yeah. I don't need to know this shit. It's just prime. We don't go further than that.
Yeah,
It's
11
not a
times
math
23.
podcast.
Wait, hold on a second. In
a math
mathematics, a
podcast.
natural number n is a Blum integer if n equals p times q is a semi-prime for which p and q are distinct prime numbers congruent to 3 mod 4.
All right, I'm going to go get a drink.
Right,
Yeah,
so
can we-
11 and 23 are both prime numbers, and so this is the factor of two primes, basically. Is what it
Yeah,
boils
but a
down
Blum integer means means in addition to being a factor of two primes, the prime numbers have to be congruent to 3 mod 4. So that is p and q must be of the form 4t plus 3 for some integer t.
to. Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But it is a happy number. I can't do happy off the top of my head. It's a little more...
What's a happy number?
it's a thing where you like...
That's my preemptive mistake.
You do a little formula, like a simple thing. You know how like to check if something is divisible by 9, you just add the digits, and if it gets to 9, it's divisible by 9?
Yeah.
So happy, you do a thing, and you do it over and over and over, and eventually it ends at 1. If you just
Okay.
keep doing the thing over and over. If it doesn't eventually get to 1, it's not a happy number.
Okay.
That's it. I won't even go into what the thing is, but that's a
Okay.
happy number.
All right. I want to drink. No. Hey, my name is Andy.
You don't play anything?
Well, we haven't been doing that for a while now. All right, I play
you
Go
run-
Ball and I play some Circle.
My name's Nathan, and I currently play an Arrakis Queen Consume deck, although Vran Warrior, they took off the PTR temporarily because of the broken infinite loop, but it would be in my deck if it wasn't.
I'm Dave, and I play Protectorate and maybe Retribution.
Why'd you just skip over Nick?
Because I was being quiet.
Yeah.
I'm Nick. I play Signar and Red White Aggro and Protectors.
It's Red White Aggro.
Magic.
Yeah.
Magic.
Oh.
There's a free version
I did-
that's
I
less
did-
crappy than Magic the Gathering Online that exists now. So,
So,
Playing
yeah.
it for
I
free.
didn't know that I invited one of them.
Yeah, well,
So I have to ask you though, Nick, are you the last person playing Signar? Because it seems like everybody else
in
is
town,
left.
yes. I am the last person playing Signar.
What happened to Jake?
He's playing Trolls.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Well,
the correct choice. Like,
the-
did you see those numbers? The highly reputable.
Lesser Jake is playing Trolls, and Greater Jake is playing Trolls.
Yeah,
Yes.
the Jakes. If you're a Jake, you're playing Trolls.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew which Jake I was talking about.
But we have to clarify.
Not if they're both playing
lesser.
Trolls.
there's-
It's a factual
no,
statement
there's-
that Jake is playing Trolls.
Yes.
But we're clarifying which Jake because I understand that both Jakes play Trolls, but there's a better Jake and there's a lesser Jake.
Sure.
Jake Majoris is.
Yeah,
never played
Jacobus
Signar.
Minoris and Jacobus Majoris, and one of them has never played Signar, and is uncorrupted as a result.
Jake Labius Majora is playing Trolls.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Announcements.
The Gwent PTR is live. The Homecoming public test is live through the 9th, so through Tuesday. Although that's Polish time, or European Standard Central time. So I think it's like 2 in the morning our time, Tuesday morning, something like that. But at least for the rest of today and all of tomorrow, the Homecoming PTR is live. And as with everything else on the internet, Reddit hates it and thinks that it raped and murdered its parents, and in reality, it's really good.
Yeah. Do you think Russian trolls also troll video games too?
No, I think just neck-bearded, basement-dwelling idiots who don't want anything to change ever, hate everything that ever changes ever. Because that's what happened with Mark II War Machine. It's what happened with Mark III War Machine. It's what's happening with the Gwent PTR. It's what happens every time anything that nerds love changes slightly.
Season 4 of Guild Ball is going through
Worst
that phase
thing
right
ever.
now, too.
Worst. It's terrible.
There's
Just
some
murder
people-
me. It's better than a game changing.
The fuck? They've only released just the cards for various guilds.
Right, but they're literally the worst thing that's ever happened.
Some of them are the worst things ever.
literally.
They have no idea what the actual rules are for the game itself.
Yeah.
Well, they changed up like how damage is taken. It seems like so damage is taken at the end of the phase instead of the beginning of the phase, and
The game's dead.
people
Game's
are like,
garbage.
this
Fuck
is-
it. What the hell? I'm
can't do this.
personally betrayed by how terrible this change is.
Dead game.
Are you going
Dead-
to burn all your Guild Ball miniatures?
Yeah, I actually do have Guild Ball miniatures.
Yeah,
Probably
dude.
not gonna
I
burn
forgot
them
I
if you
did
just
until
buy
I
them.
needed the duffel bag to go visit some people, and I had to dump out the Guild Ball shit from inside of it.
Yeah, why don't you just leave that here?
It never was here.
No, I mean I'm just saying like bring it to this area and then leave it.
It's better to just leave it in a room that I never go into. My game room is literally filled with games. Like, I can't even go into it. Like, there's barely any floor to walk around because I have too many
So how
games.
many completely
want another
unused
game?
rooms do you have?
What?
How many unused rooms do you have so far?
I
He's
think
given-
there's currently 9 bedrooms we don't use.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's at least you could just throw one board game into each room and then continuously play that and just never take it down.
Yeah, just have like a TI room and a Dune room
Mm-hmm.
is kind of the current thought is to have a board game room and then a miniatures room because that'll help with the size of
Your-
what's going on.
Your Dune room, you should just literally go get some sand and put it everywhere.
Yeah. And cinnamon and then some kind of giant man-eating worm.
Yeah.
Wait, why cinnamon?
The spice.
Spice.
The spice is described as being cinnamon scented and flavored
Oh,
and
okay.
everything. It's
Yeah.
And I think melange is actually like Arabic for cinnamon or something, probably,
like that.
because
Okay, that makes
most of the Arrakis language is just Arabic.
Arabic, yeah.
Because he's lazy.
So, Andy ran a tournament this weekend.
I did.
Yeah.
I ran a War
Yesterday.
Machine tournament.
Yeah.
Did.
And it was not on time. I was sad.
And
It was like, what, 3 minutes late? It was not very late.
It went too long for what I wanted.
Well, yeah, it ended very late. What was it, 8:45 or something
Yeah,
like that
by the
before
time
we
we
got out
got
of the
out.
store?
The store-
store closed at 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, I mean, we also had 17 people. And I don't think we were expecting that high of a turnout, which is pretty decent for just a random event on Saturday.
It helped that it wasn't announced the week before.
Well, yeah. I mean, we actually had a lead up for announcements for it.
So I accomplished my goal yesterday, 100%.
What was that?
That was to convince myself that Malekus is trash.
Okay.
And
You could have just looked at his card.
well,
That's what
I had
felt like.
I had lingering doubts because he has a good feat and he has one good spell and 2 really good spells.
Yeah.
Because Ignite is a good spell, Scourge is a very good spell,
Yeah.
and Open Fire is also a very good spell. And so, I mean, I had these lingering doubts that with the Judicator being so good and having 2 fire-based sprays that interact with his feat, that a caster with a good feat, a good spell, and 2 very good spells could still be useful.
Have you thought maybe it wasn't so much Malekus, but maybe army composition?
Well, this was what sealed it. Was the first game I played into a very strong player playing a list that should have beaten up Malekus on a scenario that was bad for my double Judicator build, and I played Malekus in this because it's like I want to see if this is even a game, and it was kinda.
It
But
resembled a game.
It resembled a game, and then the second round, I actually did Malekus things. I clipped the other caster with a scourge and blew him up with shots. The third game I lost. I lost, and Malekus didn't help me. And then the fourth game, I just crushed it and dominated the entire game. And then I realized after the fact, though, that Malekus that entire game did not feat and did not cast his best spell. So all he did was waddle around ineffectively all game and not die.
He does have armor 17, so when you're camping, that's relevant.
Yeah.
I guess.
But it just kind of sealed it that it's like the game I was in most control of, Malekus did almost nothing.
Sure. And?
The mistake that Dave made was thinking that you needed to add more numbers to Adjudicator. You don't. You need to add things that are unfair, like Rockwall. Let's talk about Rockwall.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's my two next builds for Double Judicator, because I want to make it work, are Sirenia, because she has Rockwall, and instead of Ignite for buffing its melee, she has Positive Charge, which actually gives it, in addition to ridiculous melee, because at that point it is POW 26 Signs Importance melee, which wrecks stuff.
That's okay.
Mat 9.
Yeah, it goes up to Mat 9 Signs Importance, POW 26 Signs Importance. But then the Rockwall is also pretty broken.
Yeah, the issue again is that he's like, man, I need to add more numbers to this big ball of numbers, and it's like, this thing already does about 70 points of damage to a 1019 Warjack. You don't really need more numbers at that point.
Well, I mean,
it kills a Colossal. A Conquest in an activation with battle.
No.
That's all you need. You put it in numbers. So we need more unfairness. I think
No.
here.
Actually, because in my last game, I needed to kill Mulg and Rock with the same activation, and I was able to pull it off.
Fair and balanced.
Like I said,
Yeah.
I am expecting that model to get adjusted.
But yeah, so it's
Adjudicated?
like adjudicated.
Yes. One might.
Yeah. So yes, my game yesterday that I was most in control of, Malekus did basically nothing, and Sirenia or Krios would have done much better.
He supplied focus.
Yes,
Did
but
he allocate
but
focus?
any other focus bot could have done that just as effectively.
Sure, but just because unneeded is not the same as useless. Right?
Yeah.
So, like, your third game you glossed over, and it's the one I'm most curious about, because the first one you're like, it's a matchup that was bad for him and a scenario that was bad for him, and he actually did admirably well. That's a positive note.
Yeah.
The second, and then two of your other games you won with him.
Yeah.
And so, like, it sounds like he did quite well.
Well,
I like how ho-hum
There are
he is
asterisks
about
involved here.
I really want to hate him, but I'm going to put him through all these trials. He's going to do really well, and I'm like, nah, I still don't like you.
I mean, I understand it's because in Dave's mind, it didn't single-handedly break the game forever solely by nature of being yeah.
we're talking about judicators here. There's a pretty high threshold for
Right.
impressive. I mean, the greater point is that the game that I was most in control of, it was 100% the judicators that won the game. That,
Sure.
Malekus really didn't.
And
do
that would have been
anything.
true with literally any caster, is my point.
Yeah.
So you could say literally every caster in that faction is garbage because the Judicator didn't need them.
Well,
Like, that's not his fault.
yeah.
But the difference is, so another thing that Dave glossed over, his first game was against Rask on Spread the Net.
Yeah.
And Rask doesn't get shot.
We didn't have spread the net.
Whatever.
Mirage.
Super Spread
Yeah.
the Net. Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
we-
Sorry.
yeah.
Good catch, Andy.
Yeah, because fuck spread the net.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he said it was a
Mirage is
bad...
actively worse than that. Like,
Yeah.
that's-
I don't
Anyway.
care. That's my meta. That's what I believe.
Point being, you don't defend. There is nothing in Protectorate that defends against a Rask heavy better than Rockwall. And Rockwall isn't perfect, but there's nothing better because there's no one that's...
Yeah, but that's not Malekus Bad.
Sure.
That's Rockwell Good.
Yes.
Yeah.
The question is Malekus Bad.
No. He's not...
Yes, it is. I mean, that's the topic.
Yes.
Yeah, but he's not bad. That's the answer. He just is completely irrelevant and mediocre. So let's find something that is good and get that in.
We need to have a term for this because there are several. Because to my mind, there are several casters in this category that are not in and of themselves bad, but there is no reason to ever play them. Like Sturgis 1 is, to my mind, the canonical example of that because he's not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but there's almost no reason to ever play him over Maddox or Striker 1, who have his same toolkit
They're
except
potatoes.
better.
That's the issue. That's basically the issue of Crix back in Mark II. Or even Mark 1 is that why would you ever play, Scavarus when you have Gatsby 2? And that's kind of one of the reasons why they're trying to do champions with the ADR and that is so they can bring out those casters so you can play them in a vacuum.
Yeah.
I don't know. I yeah.
Yeah,
I think you could
Crix's was less along the fucking A, I forgot his name. Sturgis. Crix was less along the Sturgis route because Crix, it was here's casters that are amazing and then here's casters who aren't as amazing, but they weren't the same caster, right? They were at
Correct,
least different. Like, Scabrous plays differently than Gatsby 2, but Gatsby 2 is 1,000 times better.
Correct.
Which the Mark 1. I'm not going to talk now, whatever, but at the time, all right? But if you look at Sturgis and Stryker, they were
And Maddox.
90 and Maddox, they're
Yeah.
99% the same thing. Like, you have 3 different hammers, right? And so, like, the better hammer's just better.
And so you play Striker because he has a disruption gun and a bunch of other randomly unfair garbage.
Yeah.
Right. And he wasn't PP wimping out on killing a caster and putting into Crix. Fucking pansies.
I mean, he is dead.
No, I understand, but for a decade we wanted them to kill a caster and bring it back in its epic form as a Crix caster, and instead of doing it with a caster that we'd had for a decade or 5 years or a year, they introduced a guy and did it in the same book.
Yeah, but they...
Fuck you.
Hey, but then they did exactly the opposite. They resurrected a Crix caster and made him a Ret caster.
At least that was a long-term one with plot, right? That was way better. Like, wasn't it the previous
Karchev.
previous book they had kidnapped Karchev?
Yeah.
Kill him!
Yeah.
Make, like, Karchev shoved in a death jack and have Karchev 2 be Crix. That'd be fucking amazing. Instead, here's a guy you don't care about, and here he is twice.
Yeah.
Ah! God damn it, PP.
Well, basically a lot of their fluff guys are no longer there, so maybe we'll get some more drastic changes happening.
Yeah, have the balls to do that.
Yeah,
Because again, it doesn't matter. Nothing's stopping like, you can play Denny 1.
Yeah.
She's dead. Denny 1 doesn't exist in the fluff.
Correct.
But you can still play her in the game, right? So obviously it doesn't fucking matter. So
Yep.
kill him off.
Well, yeah, and basically, and all 3 of the gore shades still exist.
Yeah, exactly, right? So obviously fluff doesn't equal rules. So there's
Correct.
no reason to not have Game of Thrones level bloodbaths where 80% of these fucking characters die.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Gilball does it.
Yeah, but Guild Ball's garbage. Have you seen
No!
Have you seen the cards for season 4? It's the worst thing ever. They betrayed us. Dead game.
Cena doesn't have Furious Charge anymore, and it's so
Fucking
sad.
dead game.
John Cena needs Furious Charge.
You can see him.
It is
Do
really
people
sad,
do
though.
that constantly while playing that character?
Oh, I do. But
Good.
yeah, it's pretty much, yeah.
Wait, there's actually a character named Cena.
It's a bear.
Oh, okay, that makes
It's a giant bear named Cena. It's spelled
Sure.
Seena.
okay. That's fair.
But in any case, I have disabused myself of my interest in playing Malekus. Although I don't think I do not think he is as bad as the internet in general
There's a
says.
picture of him.
But
Oh, wait. You can't see him.
Did you do a search for John Cena?
No, I just showed him a blank phone.
Yeah,
No, because that would actually be funny if you did a Google search for John Cena and they just blanked out all of his pictures.
I love the thing where he wakes up in the hospital and he's like, "Where am I?" And the person's like, "I see you," and he's just like, "No, you can't."
I love John Cena. I can't. It's so good that he's a bad guy now. In Transformers or in Bumblebee.
Wait, he's in Bumblebee?
He's in Bumblebee.
He's the bad guy.
he's
He
the bad
finally
guy.
gets to do a heel turn.
Oh, okay, so he's in the movie. I'm sorry, I was concerned for a moment there.
What?
I mean, he might be in Bumblebee at some point in the
that's-
movie.
I'm
Oh.
like, yeah,
He's a car.
yeah,
People go inside him all the time.
Yeah, come on,
I'm not doing slash fiction here.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Bumblebee Cena
There's-
slash fiction.
There's talk that that might actually start the a G.I. Joe crossover.
Bumblebee,
The
Cena
movie
slash fiction.
Bumblebee might be actually a start of a G.I. Joe crossover where John Cena, or not John Cena, his character, whoever his character is, might be related to Duke.
Are they canonically in the same universe?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me.
It's Hasbro.
Well, sure.
You know what else is in that fucking universe?
A lot of shit.
Mask.
what?
Mask, yes, Mask was the good one of the 80s toy cartoons.
There's fan theories right now that are going about because of John Cena's character and they're looking very similar to what Duke does. The fact that they could bring in Mask and make that into a movie, and that would be fucking amazing. Are you looking up Mask?
No,
and it's not the movie with Eric, what's his name, and Cher. That's not. It's a very
That's what it was. Sky Commanders.
It was Sky. Wait, that's not Sky Commander.
No, there was a series of toys I had as a kid. I didn't have the mask toys. I remember the cartoon, but I didn't have the toys. The toys that I had a fuck ton of was a series called Sky Commanders, which were those same kind of like, yay big little action figure dudes, but they all had like bungee cords on their back, and so you would like string up like your bedroom would look like a fucking spider web, and they would all like slide down these things, and the toys were wind up, and they'd climb the wrong direction on the tracks like against gravity, and they were fucking amazing. And they had a spin-off cartoon to sell the toys, but I do not believe are Hasbro. Those fuckers, those things were awesome. Look at that dude. See, it's G.I. Joe, but 3D. He can go out. He can climb up to your ceiling, Andy.
The only one I cared about was Webster, because he was the spider guy from Skeletor's crew.
Kenner. They were Kenner.
Yeah, so they were a cheap rip knockoff.
Oh, yeah, they were garbage. They were garbage, man. But
You were a kid in the 80s. All of the toys were garbage.
Yeah.
No.
I had a thrifty father. I was lucky to have toys that like had faces and weren't just like, here's a rock.
Did I tell you about when I ran out of slime from my Hordak slime pit?
What did you dump on your G.I. Joe toys?
Well, I figured out. So there used to be a I don't know if it's made anymore. It used to be a shampoo called Selsun Blue. So it was a blue shampoo.
Yeah.
I remember Selsun Blue.
And there was also, I remember it being a yellow bottle, but it was a yellow shampoo. So I took both full bottles that my parents just got from...
Yellow and blue makes green.
And I mixed it together.
Yeah.
And I had very clean miniature toys afterwards. My parents were not very happy because I used up all the shampoo in my Hordak slime pit.
Man, how big is that slime pit then? Are we talking 8-ounce bottles of shampoo? How big are we? How much? How?
There was a lot of slime.
Okay, all right, okay. That's
Pretty
fair.
big, because it's big enough to throw, G.I. Joe size action figures in,
okay.
or He-Man size action figures in.
Because I had the big claw that came up out of
Yeah,
the slime to grip them, hold them there, and then they'd be mind controlled.
Yeah.
Because from the slime.
Yep, I remember that. They'd held on there, and then the slime went down on top of them.
Yeah. It was not as viscous as...
Well, sure,
Because it just poured very fast. But, my parents were not happy about that.
I also played War Machine on Saturday. I lost 2 games and I won 1.
I thought you were saying you played War Machine as a kid.
Did you have a bye?
Yeah, I had a buy.
Okay,
Yeah,
because
so
he had 4 rounds.
yeah, no,
4 rounds. That's a decent
We had
attendance.
17 people.
17
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Nice.
You should have come out there and beaten some people up with minions.
I might, because now that I, have a 9-to-5er, I might come on some Wednesdays.
Sweet.
Cool.
But yeah, first game I played into a bunch of infantry on Spread the Net, which should have been ideal, and I lost anyway. And then I got a bye, and then I played into some Cato stuff with Siege 2, and that was fine. And then I played into some Teps with infantry, and that was not fine. And that was my day.
Yeah.
Not very exciting.
Listen to you guys. I should just bring my Rask list and win Mirage.
That apparently works.
Yeah.
I mean, in fairness, when your opponent has 2 Colossals, there's not a lot of scenarios you can lose as Rask.
So you know that Keith is now playing Convergence.
That son of a bitch.
I
And he's
know.
playing... And guess what he's playing? He's playing Carrier Group.
Yeah.
Basically.
Is he doing
Destruction Initiative.
Yeah. Is he doing with double axioms under mom?
No.
Is he doing 1 axiom, 1 TEP to put?
Nope, 2 Teps.
2 taps.
2 taps.
Because he's cycling.
Yeah.
He's cycling the tactical supremacy. He and I actually brainstormed a lot about the destruction initiative, the mother list rather. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised to see him doing the double tap because we bounced that back
Because
and
it's
forth.
really, really good.
He's doing pretty solid with it.
Well, the tap with her is really good. So the
Yeah.
question is a Colossal plus a tap or 2 taps. I went Colossal tap, but obviously, famously, I switched Colossals to the one that everybody hates.
Yeah.
And it did quite fucking well for me, but whatever. The internet hates everything.
Yeah.
the fucking mask theme stuck in my head.
The last thing I did before going to bed last night was get it, My Girl Likes to Party All the Time by Eddie Murphy stuck in Raylene's head. And then I accidentally trolled her this morning because I was trying to remember. I'm like, man, I was an asshole last night because I got that song stuck in her head. But then I couldn't remember what song. So I just went up to her. I'm like, hey, Raylene, I can't remember. What song did I get stuck in your head last night? And she just goes, fuck you. And walks away because apparently that did it again.
I understand we have another announcement.
Yeah, it is surprisingly difficult to find slash porn with Geralt and the other Witchers. Like, you'd think there'd be a lot of that out there, but I really tried yesterday because somebody said there wasn't any, and I'm like, bullshit.
No, that's
there's
on
not
Rule
any.
34. It's easily on Rule 34.
I did not. I googled a decent amount for slash fan fiction of now. I was
on your
getting-
neighbor's router, right?
Fuck it. Let the NSA know that I was looking for gay Polish monster slayer porn. Obviously with just Lambert. I mean, he's way cooler than Eskel.
I have no idea who any of them are.
Lambert's great. Here, Limerick. Lambert, what a prick.
Okay.
That's the poem.
Okay. I never played Witchers. Any of the Witchers.
motherfucker.
Yeah, wait a minute. I'm
played Witcher
confused.
3, but never got into it.
Describing Lambert in positive
Lambert's-
terms. I'm
dude,
very confused. by
Lambert's
this.
great. I love Lambert, man. He's such a dickhole.
Strongly disagree.
Are you surprised that I love Lambert?
No.
Okay, at least that.
I'm just saying that normal people might react to him by finding him, say, grating, obnoxious, not really caring if he
Have you
accidentally
met Nathan?
dies because you haven't paid attention to what you need to have for the final battle. I didn't, but I've definitely had people complain about that.
Oh, well, whatever. You know, Lambert's good. I like Lambert. Obviously, Papa Vesemir is everybody's favorite Witcher because, you know, it's Papa Vesemir. But Lambert's good times.
What's Papa Vesemir? I'm going to have to look it up. All right.
His name's just Vesemir. He's not really a Papa, but he's the Obi-Wan to Geralt's Luke.
Okay.
He's the mentor. He's the trainer here. He's almost more like a Yoda. Like, he's the full-on, you know... Actually, maybe more Obi-Wan, because, you know, he actually like, travels
Pretty
with him and
fucking
everything.
impressive
Yeah.
that I figured out how to spell Vesemir correctly.
Well done. Yeah, there he is. But yeah, he's the wise mentor that trains him.
I just wanted a quick message to tell Travis.
Play Witcher 3, son of a bitch.
Yeah, I'm going to tell Travis. So, Travis, the computer that has your files that you've been begging me since last night is being used to record the podcast, and I can't use it right now, so too bad.
Travis is watching?
Travis,
Yeah,
Travis
that's
forgot
Travis.
to take a frickin' picture of his sheet, and so ever since last night, he's been consistently sending me messages saying, "I need the file for the thing so I can rebuild my sheet." I'm like, I'm at watching a UFC pay-per-view right now. I didn't tell him that though, but I said I'll get it in the morning, and then in the morning I decided I was going to play WoW. And then Travis messaged me when I was taking a nap, and then I'm like, I'm taking a nap. I didn't tell him that though, too. And I said, I'll just do it later.
Dude, that UFC fight, I didn't watch it, but apparently it turned into a debacle with like
A brawl.
fist fights and
Yes.
arrests and everything.
I don't know about arrests and that because there's.
No, I heard that like 3 members of the what's his face, not McGregor, the other guy. I heard that like
Yeah, could
3
be.
members of the entourage got arrested.
Oh, it's quite possible. Basically, what happened is the pay-per-view is awesome throughout the whole day. It was just a really good pay-per-view. Derek Lewis, big fighter, was fighting. I can't remember the other guy. He was a Norwegian. He was just another big from Scandinavia. But anyway, he was losing 3 rounds. 10 seconds left in the fight. He knocked the other guy out. So it was just him just tired, getting beat up, and then just knocked him out 10 seconds left in the fight. Then during his post-interview, before his post-interview, he ended up taking off his shorts, so he was just running around in his underwear inside the ring. And then he started his interview with Joe Rogan. Rogan ended up asking him, was like, why did you have your pants off? And then he responds with probably the greatest line I've ever heard in MMA interviews, which is, my balls is hot. And then proceeded to talk about, I was like,
Was this the
I got a
Norwegian
message
or the
from
guy
Mr.
who-
Trump that I had to go and beat this guy, the Russian czars, so I can, blah, blah, blah. It was an amazing interview, but it started off with my balls is hot.
My balls is hot.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But so the fight ended basically, or the main event was against Khabib and Conor McGregor, and I'm not going to say Khabib's last name because it's. I should put up the text for it, and you'd be like, what is it?
Yeah, well, you know.
But third, fourth round, I think it is. Khabib
Choked him out, right?
Choked him out, tapped, and then proceeded to immediately jump out of the ring and start attacking Conor's crew.
Yeah.
And then while that was happening, one of Khabib's crew jumped into the ring and then attacked Conor from behind. Just started punching him in the head, and there was just a lot of violence. Both fighters had to be escorted.
This isn't
out
an
of the
MMA
ring.
match, and there was violence. You don't
No,
say.
but I mean,
there's a difference between boxing during the match and a brawl after everything's over.
Correct.
It's just funny the description, the explicit description of only the times when they're not allowed to be punching each other in the head that it's violence.
Yeah, yeah. But both fighters had to be escorted from the ring. There was a sequence where the camera was really close to Dana White when he was telling Khabib, he's like saying, if I put this belt on you right now, this place is going to riot. And so, yeah, he was escorted out, and then they announced the winners and didn't put the belt on him.
Well, and then I saw they were saying that since he's going to be suspended, they might strip it from him anyway.
Oh, my God, that'd be so...
Strip him and possibly loss of some or all the winnings, I remember hearing as well.
Yeah, it was just really uncalled for. I mean, like...
Professional fighter jumping out to attack someone else.
Well, I mean,
it is uncalled
that's
for.
uncalled
Yeah.
for.
Hell?
I mean, Conor...
I mean, that's criminal assault and battery.
Correct. Conor, basically, what he does is kind of different than what everyone else does. He really he tries to sell the card. I mean, he may be a douchebag in general, but most of the time when his fight is done with whoever he's taken on, he's usually respectful in that regards. And yeah, his opponent did not take Conor's words kindly.
So what we're
So I
saying
got to ask
is
though,
that-
because I don't really follow MMA, but every time Conor McGregor it's in the news, it's either for being a gigantic asshole or losing. So is he like the most overrated fighter, or
He's a really, really good fighter and has
Okay.
a mouth to back it up.
okay?
I mean, he's
Because it seems like the only time he's ever in the news is for punching people when he's not supposed to be punching, and then getting punched enough that he falls over.
Well, he's only in the mainstream. The issue is, as far as seeing him in the mainstream news, is like he's like 1 million wins and 2 losses, but those 2 losses are giant fights like this, and so
yeah.
when you see these big stage ones, he's just
Yeah.
happened to lose them, and
Yeah.
but no, his I don't know what his record actually is, but he is really good.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he is very similar to like DC. Like Daniel Cormier has only 2 losses, and they are only to one person.
Right.
And those 2 losses were against John Jones, and John Jones is basically a cheater, a really good cheater. John Jones is basically almost undefeated too, but he's been caught by US.
ADA.
I almost said USDA. I'm like,
Well, he can't
what does the meat market have
He
to
uses
do?
the mummy guard. You
The
can't break
mummy
the mummy
guard?
guard.
I am not familiar with this.
I'll show it to you later.
Decline.
No, that's not like some weird sex thing.
Okay.
It is a 2-minute video. In fact, I think it's a series of 5 videos, each of which is only like 2 minutes long. So watching all of them only takes 10 minutes. And
Evil Lead with the psychic knockout.
what do you do when you're fighting a clone of yourself that's immortal?
It's basically MMA fights
the
with
mummy
glitches
guard.
from UFC, the video game.
Yeah, and then somebody did an impression of the UFC narrators or announcers
over the glitches.
over the
Okay.
glitches. And so,
yeah.
like, the bold strategy here is that he's phasing through the ground and turning into a warlock. Like, yeah.
And it's a pretty solid Joe Rogan impersonation, too.
They were good impersonations, yeah. Can't break the mummy guard, Joe.
But, yeah, it's really sad. It seems like the UFC is kind of going in that direction of kind of WWE-style things. Like their last pay-per-view they had after Daniel Cormier won his title, basically beat Stipe. Brock Lesnar came out to the ring and started pushing people around to set up a match. And I mean, it set it up like WWE style. Like,
Yeah.
like he comes in and starts saying, "Oh, you're fucking full of fucking blah blah blah." I'm like, this is not what you want to see in a boxing UFC style fight. I'm okay with them having issues with each other to build up a fight, but it felt very manufactured. Of course, Conor also like threw like a handrail truck into a bus to try to build up his fight with Khabib.
Good times.
Yeah. There you go. That is about the most we've talked about UFC on this podcast.
Because it was basically WWE.
Pretty much.
Only for real.
Pretty much. Rest of the card was really good, though. My balls is hot. It's so good. Oh, I think I upset Travis when I was talking earlier about the thing. I didn't know.
Nathan and I saw that, and you were just cheerfully.
He was talking this direction, so he didn't
on
see.
and trashing Travis.
I wasn't trashing Travis.
No, he had moved on to the UFC by that point.
Was I I don't think I was really trashing Travis. I was saying he was messaging me, and then I just told him I'd do it later.
Sorry, describing in great detail the number of things that you were blowing him off for. Sorry. There's a subtle difference between that
My
and
nap
actively
was
trashing someone. You're
Hey,
correct.
I will blow anyone off to get my nap.
Nap takes top priority over friendship.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
I mean, don't you? You guys don't worship naps as much as I do.
No, since I got on CPAP, I don't nap anymore.
I've never napped. I don't nap.
You should try it.
I don't sleep much at all. So more sleep in the middle of the day. All I do is I sleep 2 or 3 hours a night, and then I'm just exhausted and miserable for my entire life, and that's been working so far.
See, I am literally a cyborg that works with sleep enhancing technology, and as a result, I do not need to nap.
Good plans.
See, when I go to work, I go to lunch, and then I just take a nap in my car for 45 minutes. It's awesome.
But
Why do you nap in your car? I just do it in my office.
Well, because I'm in a cubicle, and
Oh.
I'm not gonna just sit there hanging my head off the back.
Oh no, I have a pillow. I just lay on the ground.
Back before I became a cyborg, the way I would do that is at the CS department. We have this conference room registration system, so I would reserve one of the conference rooms that had a couch and just go sleep there.
That's doable.
are there internally implanted mechanisms as part of the CPAP process, or is it just the machine you wear?
It's just the machine.
So you're not a cyborg.
Well, I'm a cyborg because I use technology for a life giving. I must rely on an electronic device to live because I would die. I would die without. I have sleep apnea at that level.
Yeah, but I don't think you're a cyborg if it's not implanted into your body. Like RoboCop's a cyborg,
Yeah.
but somebody wearing a mech suit isn't a cyborg.
Yeah.
would be my differentiation.
Yeah, but the mech suit doesn't. The person does not require the mech suit to live. I require.
I don't think that.
device.
I don't think that's part of it. I think it has to be
So
part of your body.
You
physically.
could probably say something to the fact that you're maybe Iron Man.
Well, you said you were a cyborg who relies upon technology to live. I believe the second half. You do require the technology to live, but it's
believe
not
the
built
cyborg.
into your body. And I think, to my mind at least, that's part of the cyborg definition.
I think you'd be closer to Iron Man in that regard.
Right, but he had, after removing the arc reactor, you mean?
Correct.
But then he doesn't need it, he just wears it.
Yeah.
Like, so it'd be a weird
Well, I
thing
mean-
where Iron Man has to wear the suit.
No,
like,
he needed that technology.
right, but it was built into him.
Yeah,
So he
that's
would be a cyborg.
Okay.
So it's like if Iron Man didn't have that built into his chest, if it was part of the suit, but if he
Yeah.
ever left the suit, he would die.
Yeah.
So wait, Nathan.
Okay,
So like Vader.
Cyborg question. Yeah, wait, but for Vader,
Vader's also
His-
part cyborg.
yeah,
though,
his-
too.
Yeah, he's part implanted, but
Yeah.
imagine it's just the suit, right? It's just the life support mechanism.
Sure.
You know, yeah, that wouldn't be a cyborg in my mind.
so wait, if Vader didn't actually have cybernetically attached limbs, but just climbed into a suit,
Right, and without the suit, he would die.
and
It's-
without the suit you die, he wouldn't be a cyborg.
correct. He'd just
Okay.
be a dude wearing a life support suit.
All right, so this is one of those.
It's
sandwich
literally
scenarios.
part of your body. Is well, no, to me that's
Okay.
clear cut.
Because if
part
you
of your
climb
body.
out of the suit, even if you're allowed to, you die.
Correct. So he's just a
But
guy
you're not
that has a life
attached-
support suit.
Okay, sure.
He's just a guy with a life support suit. So somebody floating in space wearing a spacesuit isn't a cyborg, but they sure as fuck are relying on it to survive.
I mean, that's a very clean cut.
That's a fair point. I suppose.
Hey,
that's
stranger,
true.
check out these.
Yeah. Yeah, because I guess if you were going to use
People in iron lungs, I don't think are implanted in you either.
No, they're not. No, that is
you're
definitely a
implanted
suit.
in them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, people.
Well, this is us saying Wikipedia.
So are you saying-
Wikipedia says the term cyborg is not the same thing as bionic, biorobot, or android. It applies to an organism that has restored function or enhanced abilities due to the integration of some artificial component or technology that relies on some sort of feedback.
Look, $6 million man is a cyborg.
So you are bionically enhanced,
Yeah.
but you are not a cyborg.
Yeah. Sorry, Dave.
Well, the definition I'm more used to is somebody that relies on technology for a basic function of life.
Yeah, I've only ever heard it used as maybe it's a Southern thing. Maybe below the Mason-Dixon line, that's how their sci-fi stories work. But yeah, right here, cyborg is short for cybernetic organism, a being that is both organic and biomechatronic body parts.
Yeah.
So like technically, someone
so
with a
their
prosthetic
version
hand
is
is
a
a
cyborg.
cyborg.
Yes.
So like you don't need to, they don't rely on it to live, but their body is no longer purely organic.
So we're talking about a language barrier, so it's like Coke or pop, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Cyborg.
Not quite a language barrier, because it's still a factor of integration. It has to be connected and conjoined, not
No,
just...
He's talking about Southern cyborg
Oh,
versus Northern
Yeah,
cyborg.
yeah. That's what I'm
That's
saying.
a vernacular issue. It's like how in America we call them popsicles, and in England they call them cold on a cob.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, and we call them guns, and they call them Rudy Tooty Point and Shooty.
I don't think that's true either.
You call them goons.
Oh my god,
You're gonna call it the goon squad.
they do call like Cockney
That's
rhyming
literally-
slang
that's-
has stuck around.
That's literally what they do, is because bodies don't carry guns. They call the goon squad.
Yeah,
Which is
the goons,
the goon squad, and they're the ones with the guns.
apples and pears. You know, that's an actual term they use for a staircase.
So when Jean-Luc
It is,
Picard,
because of Cockney rhyming slang.
okay.
So instead of stairs, it's apples and pears.
Okay. No,
Blame like the 1800s.
Oh, I
it's
will
not my
happily do
fault.
that.
Yeah,
I don't need any assistance with that.
there's actually a lot of terms that come from Cockney rhyming slang, and I used to know a lot of them off the top of my head. And for right now, for some reason, I can only think of apples and pears. I'm going to pull it up because there's a lot of interesting ones.
we're talking about things that happened in 19th century England when the generic medicine for just about everything was cocaine.
Only if you're rich.
Okay, see if you can guess. We'll make this a game. Translate these Cockney rhyming slangs.
Uh-oh.
The current shortened word is dog, but the original rhyming phrase, thank you, was dog and bone. I'm holding my dog.
It's a phone?
Yeah, you get right on the dog and bone.
Jesus.
Yeah. Trouble and strife, shortened now to trouble.
Wife?
Gotcha right there. It's your
no.
wife. Your mincers, which is a bastardization of the original mince pies.
I have no idea.
Your
David.
eyes.
Oh,
Okay.
Jesus.
Your eyes, yeah. Wow, Jesus Christ.
I don't do enough cocaine, I think, to figure these out.
Your plates, which were originally the plates of meat. Or your feet.
Oh, okay, all right.
That's
all
how you
right.
get
That's
shit like
not-
this. Like your apples. The apples is your staircase. Fucking 19th century England. The road you call a frog because a frog and toad. I like this one. A wig is called syrup because syrup of fig.
God, this shit keeps getting worse.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I may have read those out of order to purposely get to the worse and worse
Sure,
ones.
but mission accomplished, I guess.
Right. I mean, because we've got dumb shit too. Like, why does the number 86 mean to eliminate something? Right? 23 means to leave. And 23 skidoo.
Yeah.
Skidoo skedaddle. I mean, that's waitress, the American waitress slang. It's weird shit, but so somebody starts doing, making up a vernacular, and it gets integrated into the common language.
Yeah.
Much to the chagrin of everyone else.
Are you just Facebooking?
I'm trying to find that there was this time machine meme that was amazing that I can't find. It was, basically it was
Time
like,
zones?
yeah. Oh, time zones. That's
Yeah,
it.
it was time zones. It's like
Yeah.
time zones are amazing because it's tomorrow in Australia and it's yesterday like in England
Yeah.
and it's 1942 in America when all the minorities are being oppressed by white men. Yeah.
Yeah.
No rant, just say, hey, register to vote unless you are Republican, in which case please forget to do so.
That was efficient. Moving on.
I'll make it short and to the point.
Yeah, no. I mean, well, I kind of touch on this off camera though. But if you are unhappy about events that had happened yesterday, your voice can be heard, and you need to go and do that in the first Tuesday of November. Is it the first Tuesday? Yeah.
So it's the Tuesday after the first Monday.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's technically. I was gonna yes.
Okay.
They just do that so it's never on the first of the month.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Speaking of registration, how many teams have been registered for the ATC?
Wow. I don't like this guy. He's trying to keep us on topic and
I'm
actually
just
talk
curious,
about
'cause I'm
relevant
too lazy to look it up. Okay?
relevant things
I'm gonna find it
for.
out of the podcast, 'cause otherwise I won't find out at all. So I forget
Well,
about it again.
Travis could have told us in chat if Andy wasn't a dick to him.
Yeah. Damn it, Andy.
I wasn't a dick.
I know you were.
He's really mad at me, probably right now.
Where is the team lists on our website?
Does my team
Yeah,
registered yet?
he's out.
Oh no!
He's locked out.
Where's our what the hell? ATC information. That's the information. Where's the team list? I haven't finagled around with the newly designed website.
It's the same as the old website.
Okay, well, there's a menu. I go into menu. Oh, and now that's just dumb. When I click on it, it takes me to information, but then back in the menu, it opens up a drop down for the
Yeah,
teams.
making websites work sucks.
Hey, I just moved it over. It was Aggie who was handling it. I'm throwing everyone under the bus. Who wants to go next?
We are at a dozen so far. My expectation is that we'll hit a big bump after War Machine Weekend. It
Yeah.
usually does, and then
people
another
start caring
big
about it.
bump around the turn of the year when it becomes the next event.
next event, yeah.
We are looking into having extra prize support once we reach certain thresholds of teams,
Cool.
which would be really nice. Like, for example, and no promises, but the first thought was that that if we have at least 32 teams, we should be able to make it so that the winning team, in addition to being guaranteed a slot at the WTC, we'd be able to pay their entry fee for the WTC.
Nice.
So they,
Yeah.
then they're just on the hook for travel expenses, which, again, not to promise anything, but I could redo the math if we, in theory, had 64 teams. Because the more teams we have, the more money we have proportionately left over.
Right.
Because it takes just random number. Let's say it takes 20 teams to just break even for the event. Then the dozen more teams we have as pure profit to use towards getting new pads so we can stop using those shitty green mats that we got for free from Privateer Press, paying people's entry. Another 32 teams, all of a sudden we have a lot more extra money we can use towards stuff like, the dream would be actually paying the travel expenses to the WTC so that this is a huge prize for people. But again, it depends as the event builds and builds and builds, and we're able to do that. For now, no promises, but help drive up the count, and that'll be good.
I might be on a team this year.
Yeah, weren't you guys? Weren't you?
No, Dave never contacted me.
I was
Because you at the table. You
Yeah.
were at the table, and
Yeah.
you said you have room on your team, and he said yes to your face.
Yeah, but he never contacted me. He's already filled it up.
actually, it wasn't that I filled. It wasn't that I filled it up.
Talking in
That
person, not contacting.
Yeah, no.
Doesn't
I
count.
got invited to a team that I couldn't say no to.
He's a cyborg.
Someone
So
made
he-
an offer they
Yeah.
couldn't refuse.
Cyborg.
He's
I refuse to play with a cyborg.
He's apparently a biotically enhanced gangster of some sort, being pulled into an ATC team by the War Machine Mafia.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Pshaw.
So I think so. I mean that, and they seem to be okay with renaming the team Conflict Chamber, so it will be Team Conflict Chamber. But
Fair.
I just got recruited into it instead of trying to recruit the team. So still cool.
On top of having
Nice
a
ego stroke.
Yeah.
professorial position, he's also an excellent entrepreneur in that he jumps into things at the last minute and then steals them and puts his brand on them.
Yeah.
So, top quality entrepreneurial spirit right here.
Yeah.
Great job, Edison. Yeah. So ATC, boom, boom, boom.
Yep.
Registration
Everybody
still
should
open.
come. It's an awesome event.
We had a lot of people last year.
Yeah.
Probably
We'll have a lot
have even
again
more
this year.
people next year. This year. Whatever. Next year? It's January. Next year.
Yes, next calendar year, the coming ATC.
the 2020 ATC.
2019.
Yeah, no, but that would be next year. Is the 2021?
No,
Andy,
No.
please.
that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
Kind of does.
No.
I'm talking about next year's ATC,
Which is 2019.
Yeah,
We're in 2018.
It's this year.
We need a little.
We're doing all the preparations for it this year.
This year was 9 months ago.
Yeah.
Next year is 3 months from now.
Yeah.
I think
2020 doesn't even enter into it.
Andy just needs one of those like little Fisher Price fishing rods to more clearly communicate what's going on, which is that he is actively baiting Nathan.
Yeah, but he's baiting like it. See, the thing is, I know he's baiting. I'm not angry at what he's trying to do. I'm angry at how bad his baiting is.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so, ironically enough, that works better than if he was competent at it.
Yeah, go away, Peyton.
Yeah.
So speaking of pedantic
Dating?
crankery, does this one thing annoy you as much as it does me? Is it
Probably.
when people post a time in CST when they mean CDT,
Yes.
that annoys
yes.
the fuck out of me.
Yes.
I posted it in CT because I don't know which one
Yes.
I'm supposed to do.
And that's fine. At least you
That's
didn't
fine.
get it wrong.
Yeah.
That's it. I almost want to put it in CST but no, I always
Both
put
of
it
us
in
will yell
CT.
at you.
Yeah.
And it is very annoying that daylight savings time is a larger portion of the year than standard time is.
Yeah.
How can the minority be standard?
You know what's more annoying than that? Daylight savings time existing at all.
Well, that is definitely
Moving
true.
on.
No,
Yeah.
no. Let's rail against daylight savings time. You motherfuckers.
Just get up a fucking hour early and go get your damn crops. Damn it.
It doesn't even, like, that's all bullshit. Fucking no, just none of that. Whatever. It's all dumb. It's all some big stupid conspiracy or something. There's no point for it, motherfuckers.
Not anymore.
No point. There never was. It was nebulous at best.
It was nebulous at best 100 years ago. It's dumb now.
Yes. Yes, for certain. The only good part about daylight savings time is when we fall back. Wait, I'm trying to figure out which direction this makes sense. Yes.
I like it when Brian always got it wrong. It was always spring back, fall forward.
when you fall
back.
back, I think it's when it fall back that would make sense. The
Yep.
point is, people
Fall forward.
when people show up an hour late for work and they try to blame the fact that they didn't know,
Oh.
when in reality, if they didn't know, they'd have been 2 hours early for work.
Sure.
Or an hour early, they would have been 2 hours earlier than they were. I'm like, you thought up this excuse, but you didn't think which direction the clock went.
Yeah.
And the worst part about daylight savings time is when all the people die when they lose sleep because no one actually. Well, I'm sure some people do, but traffic accidents spike enormously in like the following 2 days, basically every year, because people are tired because an hour disappeared out of the day for no particularly good reason.
There's got to be some like perfect murder you could commit during daylight savings time.
Yeah, you make sure, because when does it actually happen? Is it happening at midnight?
No,
Technically,
it happens at like 2
2 a.m.
But it's not even like 2. Don't they usually do like 2 and some weird
depends, yeah,
whatever?
yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, so like you could commit the murder during that 1 hour time frame.
Right.
Yeah,
Where
actually
time doesn't exist.
Right.
This something like that was actually relevant to me once because when I was living in New York, we
Murder
had
people?
No. But a weird thing like that is that I needed to get up in the middle of the night to check on something, and I had set an alarm on my phone, and the alarm happened to be in that hour that didn't exist, and so my alarm never rang, and I woke up like 2 hours late, and shit overflowed.
It's weird because your phone should like the.
This was a long time ago. The phone wasn't very smart.
Yeah,
Oh,
this is
okay.
like
All right.
2000.
It is the dumb phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, I guess because if it's the spring forward, like let's say it jumps from 2 to 3, if
Yeah.
you set an alarm for 2:30, that would literally never happen.
Yes.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
set an alarm for a time
Yeah.
that never happened.
If
in
it
my-
falls back, it would happen twice.
yeah.
That'd feel really good.
Yeah.
Get
Well,
up,
that'd be
solve your
fine.
problem, go back to sleep. The alarm goes
But it'd be
off.
like a snooze that you didn't ask for.
yeah, in the middle of the night.
Well, I guess if you needed to get up at 2:30 for some reason, it would be helpful. Yeah. Why the hell were you getting up when daylight savings
I can't
happens?
remember what it was. No, I think it was
to
there
murder
was a
somebody.
leak in there was a leak that I was trying to get up like every 2 hours to make sure shit didn't overflow, and I had to manage stuff, and shit overflowed.
So you had
because,
to take care of the leak, and you
Yeah.
had to make sure it happened during that hour.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I just remember setting my alarm for a time that didn't exist and thinking after the fact, it's like, well, shit, this sucks.
Well, he obviously didn't take care of that leak, so
He
he has to
slept through it.
wait
Yeah.
for another year to,
Yeah.
And then whoever it was that was in charge of it decided to delay it another 2 weeks. So then he had to like reconfigure his whole schedule for the next year.
Yeah, you would need to do it in the fall back because instead of skipping the time, what it is, it's like you kill them at like 2:30, right? And then you go somewhere and have an alibi at the next 2:30.
Yeah. Well, he crossed the state line and yeah.
Not even state line, just the daylight savings, right? Because crossing state line, it's 10 Central, it's 11 Eastern, right?
Yeah.
But this is no. You can see me on
crossing
footage
state
at
line
2:30.
set up other bad jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can tell it again. No, like yes, it's perfect.
Yeah.
All right, I'm on it. We'll get this. We'll try this out.
We'll try this out. Thank God they're not making any more forensic files.
Much like the burning down Topper's Pizza, this will be put to the test.
I don't even remember
What is-
why you
what
were
is
going to
the
burn
burning
down
down
Topper's
talk-
Pizza.
I don't remember either.
I fucking
remember
hate
I
them
ranted
now,
about
though.
it for a while, and we were like, "Oh God, please don't let them burn down tonight, because I will look guilty as fuck."
I had a yelling match with one of their managers once too.
Oh. So we're not getting them as a sponsor ever for the podcast, then it seems like.
Yeah, fuck
Are we
Topper's Pizza.
Are we ever getting any sponsor?
No, we don't get sponsors.
Okay, yep, great.
I don't actively seek out sponsors either because I don't know.
We had one.
I mean, if you want to
briefly,
sponsor us,
kind of.
just get a hold of us.
What
We'll take your money.
I don't know. There,
I'll take
remember
your money.
we got like the. I remember somebody sent us
said
like the little
entrepreneurial
gears
spirit.
and stuff like
Oh,
that.
that was.
We were in talks
very,
about that. Yeah, like that was
very
like,
failed sponsorship,
and it was in
but-
like our first couple months of even being a podcast.
Correct. Yeah, that company is no longer in business either. So
because we never sponsored them.
yeah. They never sponsored us,
Right.
and they probably would have. Had they not reached out to us, they'd probably still be in business.
We killed them.
We killed them.
Didn't even have to actually present them. You just managed to by association.
Well, it was the
annihilate
profit
them.
margin was so thin that sending us the sample of their product bankrupted them.
And they handed it to me in person.
Oh, God.
Right, but just the expense, like the 10 cents worth of plastic.
What were they making or selling? What? Now
it was widgets.
It was
Oh,
widgets.
okay.
And that, but the
Widgets and markers and tokens and whatnot.
Yeah, the
Those
company
were
just
allowed
never.
in Mark 1 or 2.
No, they were
okay.
viable. The main thing was that communication was not there at all.
Yeah.
I mean, we
But no-
tried talking to him for a long time.
The standard measuring widget that looks like either a pointing hand or Oklahoma, depending on who you talk
Yep.
to, that was originally a non-privateer thing that a press ganger made.
Really?
Blanking on his name. He passed
Matt-
away.
Matt
It was a
Randy.
big deal. Yeah. But yeah, that he would just sell those at like conventions.
Okay.
And went, just give them to you because he was a really nice guy. I was really sad when he passed away. But yeah, those were an unofficial thing, but everybody used them. They were just basically might as well been official. And so
And
privateer
now they are
press is
official.
yeah, because
Hey.
privateers are
Yeah.
like, hey, look at that great tool. We will make them and charge them.
I think they did it with the permission of the family.
Yeah, they might have,
contacted
yeah.
the family in that. I think I remember seeing an insider on it about it.
Very, very
But
possible.
yeah, he was a very integral part of the press gang back then. And yeah, I won't go into details about
Speaking
the
of
past,
sad.
but yeah, it was very sad.
Yep.
Sean has brought up a very good how to commit a murder brought to you by Crippled System.
Joke's on you. See, I come up with theoretical ways to commit a murder, and then I do it in a different way to get away with it.
Yeah, well, obviously.
I mean, you got to throw them off in some way.
The main key is random people.
Yes, definitely nothing that could tie you to.
Nobody you know and no
to the
patterns.
I've watched enough of Forensic Files where I feel like had I been able to prepare for it, I could probably do it. I could probably get away with it.
Also, you build a really, really deep grave, because they always find people in shallow graves. So you
Yes.
need to put forth the effort. You dig like 8 feet down. You prepare that,
with
and then
lime?
you put them in there.
With lye
Sure.
and cement.
And just in case of dog alerting, so you go 8 feet down, you can lye cement all that, but about 4 feet down,
Put
directly
another body?
above it, bury like a dog.
Okay.
Like family pet passed away and you buried it in that field.
Okay.
So if they do alert, like a dog, sniffs and says, oh, there's a corpse here, and they dig down, they're like, a poodle. Okay, false alarm.
Yeah, if they dig down like 2 more feet, then they hit a big chunk of cement. And they're
Right,
like,
so maybe
why is there
combining the
cement
concrete-
out here. Then
Yeah.
they're trying to cut out the. It would just delay them enough time for me to get out of this country.
Sure.
Well-
No, you were the one I murdered.
Oh,
Sorry.
Wait, well, we just said no connections and no patterns. You've
Well,
already
does it?
goofed it up.
I said nobody
No,
you know,
he-
and can
he-
you really say you truly know anybody?
That was just to get people off the trail.
Again, I tell my theoretical way of doing it.
Bamboozled.
Yes.
Taken for a ride on Nathan's Cruise
You would be
Holy
you would
crap.
be you would be the cop at the end of the film, just sitting there going, "What?"
Kaiser Soze the fuck out of
and
you.
then Nathan would be slowly walking away with like a limp, and then stop limping, and then start running.
I'd be so bad at Kaiser, I'd be like, John mini crate.
No, I had a friend of mine that was a cop told me how to get away with murder. I said that was
Be a cop?
Well, he said sad trombone. No. What he said was that so this is how you get away with murder. You don't tell anyone. I said because that's how we catch everyone. I said because what he said was he didn't know if the shit on CSI was real or not, but he knew for sure that they couldn't afford it. So just don't tell anyone, and you're okay.
Also, never trust a man with a pig farm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Movie's so fucking good.
There's
a series. I haven't watched the series.
of Snatch.
There's a series called Snatch. Yeah, and I
Is
think
it
it's
a BBC series then?
I think it's on like Netflix or Hulu or something. I'll check while you yell at Nick for not recognizing the quote.
Did you not recognize that quote?
Wait, which quote?
Never trust a man with a pig farm.
I mean, that rings a bell, but I have no idea what it's from.
Oh
Moving on.
no, no! This needs to be repaired.
Stars Rupert Grint of Thunderpants fame.
Hasn't he done other things?
I mean, sure he was in like these small films called Harold Peter, something like that.
Something like that. There was
I have no idea who this
right?
person is.
Yeah, some
Wood
guy
carver.
named Harold
Yeah.
Peter that had a stick
Yeah.
and he pointed at people.
I'm worried about.
Is that legal in Britain?
Yes. 9 inches, rigid. Dude, it is amazing. It's an old trick, but you take any passageway from Harry Potter and replace wand with wang, and
Yeah.
it gets really dirty. Because they talk about grabbing each other's wangs and thrusting them towards each other and fighting over control, and it's awesome.
I'm worried about Sean, one of our listeners. It seems like he has everything ready to go for a murder and how to get away with it. And like he's talking about taking a wood chipper to a lake that's full of carp
Sure.
because the carp will eat anything.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
Yeah, that's garbage fish.
Yeah. Riddle Me Flash says sorry about
you
the
have to-
Packers. I think he's confused and that we care about the
No,
Packers.
I care about the fucking Packers. Shut your hole. Your cake hole goes shut now. My hand
Nathan's
goes up, your
Nathan's
mouth
a-
goes shut.
My only issue with the
Nathan's a
Packers
shareholder.
is nobody on the internet. The fucking.
Can we get rid of McCarthy now?
Exactly! The fucking Stockholm Syndrome. Because I was on the Packers, they were live streaming a McCarthy press conference after last week, and he's I'm like, shut your fucking pie hole, you piece of shit. And so I'm in the chat for the live stream, I'm like, Mike McCarthy is the worst coach in the NFL today. Easily. One of the 10 worst coaches ever in the NFL, at least in the modern era when you could name coaches. He is fucking garbage. Like, the fact that Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers only have 1 Super Bowl each is just because of his gross incompetence. To be a fucking dynasty.
Yeah.
He is terrible. And they're all these goddamn Kool-Aid jokes. Oh, no, fuck you. He's terrible. He's goddamn terrible. I maintain the very first thing they should do every Packers game is he should just challenge the coin flip and then challenge it again and then challenge it again and just keep throwing the challenge flag until they take it away from him. Because when he has challenges or timeouts, he only fucks us with them.
I think I've heard this rant before.
I will do it every goddamn time because Mike McCarthy is garbage and I'm a shareholder, so it hurts me.
Well, wait. No, there's a better solution. If you're going to have him do something like that, you can just have him punch a ref to start the game and get ejected. Win-win.
He'd somehow manage, like he'd be on the phone in the back and say, challenge something, and he'd ruin it. I can't find
We just got a touchdown.
challenge it. Why does IMDb not tell you what channel things are on?
Oh, because,
That would be useful.
yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, why are we looking at IMDb in the first place?
Because I was trying to figure out what channel Snatch the series is on,
Okay.
starring Rupert Grint of Thunderpants fame. I love when that happens. I love when somebody records like a I need to pay the rent thing, and then they record. So like he did Thunderpants, and then like 2 months later he was in Harry Potter and became huge, and so the Thunderpants people are like, cha-ching!
Sure,
and
sure.
release that motherfucker.
Yeah, starring someone from
Yeah.
Harry Potter.
Well, and you get stuff like Sylvester Stallone in The Italian Stallion, right? He does a porn to pay his rent, and then Rocky is the next year.
Sure.
I think the next year, maybe a couple years later.
Yeah.
But I love when that happens, just because you see these shitty B movies with these people who are now megastars, but they needed to eat at the time.
You still looking up?
You can talk about whatever. I don't know. IMDb is useless. There's an advertisement for CBS All Access Prime Video, so maybe it's on CBS. I don't know. Here's a screenshot that says Crackle in the corner, so maybe it's also on Crackle.
But Crackle is
I
also
think that's
just an
a
online
link,
service.
actually. There's a little play button in the center of that.
Sure,
guy.
but it's a clip, right? Like this is just going to be
okay.
like a little trailer. Yeah.
All right.
So the trailer is hosted by Crackle, but there's an ad for CBS All Access Amazon Prime. Fuck you, internet. Like,
Should probably just ask Google. It'll know.
We got some Zappity Grumbles.
all right, you get on that.
All right.
Trying to get on. What are you talking about, David?
No, I was just saying, all right, for the Zappity Grumbles.
Oh.
Who the hell's Rupert Grint anyway? I don't...
Harry Potter.
It's from Thunderpants.
What is Thunderpants?
Oh, my double god.
An amazing film about a boy with the most powerful flatulence. And he ends up saving the day in space because they can use it as a rocket fuel.
Was that that was a cartoon, wasn't it?
No, it was live action.
live action.
It is live action. They build him a special flying suit that's powered by his own flatus. So he just farts into the suit and it powers his jetpack. So it's like Fart Rocketeer. Rupert Grint was not Thunderpants. He was Thunderpants' friend. It was on Best of the Worst. I'm surprised you don't remember it. It was from way back when Mike's girlfriend was part of the crew.
Oh.
When, Jessie, I think was her name.
I'm not sure.
But yeah, it's from like an old episode of it.
No.
I obviously had the DVD prior to that. I'm ahead of the curve. But he's Ron in the Harry Potter films, the little ginger son of a bitch.
Okay.
All right, so...
Well, you asked.
Yeah, you asked.
David is actually more disconnected than I am in some ways, so we're just going to move on from that before we get into the conversation about
All right.
Harry Potter.
It says
Yeah.
Network Sony
don't
Crackle.
don't do Jeremy. Don't do the Jeremy. That's all I ask. There's no moving on. There's none of that. None of that. Jeremy's not on the podcast because of that. Actually, Jerry's not on the podcast because he doesn't want to be here.
I was going to say, I'm like,
He's not on the podcast because he moved on.
Yeah, he moved on.
Apparently, it is just on Crackle. So it's not on. It's just on the interwebs, on the Crackle, which I think is the least known web streaming service.
No, Crackle I think is oh no, I'm thinking Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll is the anime one. Never mind.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
so it's the other bad candy bar that.
you mean the merchandising site?
What?
Crunchyroll.
No, Crunchyroll is an anime streaming
Merchandising site, yeah.
That's
what I said.
In so much as the Transformers TV show is merchandising for the toys, Crunchyroll anime series is all just merchandising for Funko Pop figures and T-shirts and Hot Topic.
Yes, basically.
All right.
That was my implicit statement.
All right, so we're going to jump into Zappity Grumbles. So we're going to jump into this one here, and these are supposed to be quick. So we'll try to do them quick this time.
No.
Yes, we'll try to do these quick because they're Zappity Grumbles. God damn it!
No.
Quickly.
We actually have a few of them.
Okay.
What Netflix series would be better as a cartoon? Mine is How to Make a Murderer.
Okay. So name some Netflix series because I have no idea what we're talking about here.
You got BoJack Horseman.
That's
Okay,
already
sure, that would be better
You
than as a
got Big
cartoon.
Mouth.
Also a cartoon, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
Oh wait, I see a
like-
problem with my opinion. You got Castlevania.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Better as a cartoon.
It is a cartoon.
Also already
I
a
know.
cartoon.
That's like one of the
all the
one-
the problem with this question is
Orange
that
is the New Black is that would be.
I think the Witcher series would have been better as a cartoon.
well, that's not a Netflix
That's not out
series.
yet.
Oh, I don't care. Whatever.
Oh Jesus Christ!
As long as they have Black Siri, that's all that matters. Because I am all in on Black Siri.
I like Making a Murderer would be the series. That's actually the sequel's coming out soon. Zappity,
Grumble.
thank you. If you had to make one change to your superpower, your favorite superpower character, what would that change be? It's not my favorite superpower character though.
If it's my favorite superpowered character, wouldn't that imply that I have the least urge to make a change?
Yeah.
Well, you can have something that you truly enjoy, but there's a you want to make it even better.
Yeah.
Or worse.
Or, well, I mean, you want to make it more enjoyable. I don't mean make them more powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, tweak it a little.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I love Almond Joys, but they're with milk chocolate instead of dark chocolate. I would love Almond Joy candy bars with dark chocolate. Whereas Mounds are dark chocolate but don't have almonds in them. Why can't I get both?
I like almonds.
Almonds. I don't know, because they don't technically have a superpower. It's just like a skill, like Batman style, where they're just highly skilled. But it is very unfortunate that currently there are no living characters using the mantle of Dog Welder. Both Dog Welder 1 and Dog Welder 2 are both died, and they haven't had somebody pick up the mantle to be Dog Welder
That's a DC
3.
character, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What does he do?
He welds dogs to people.
Okay.
Yes.
Excellent.
There's a great scene in Dog Welder 2 with him and Wonder Woman interacting with each other, and she's not very happy with any of the Section 8 people. But I love Dog Welder, and I would love to
So
have
your
a
change is
currently
that
active
you
Dog
would
Welder.
you would want him to be alive.
I would want a current mantle holder of the Dog Welder mantle. Yeah, absolutely. I want a Section 8 movie.
So your upgrade to Dog Welder is him being alive.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
That is a change.
Yeah.
Nobody else has one?
No, I got
I got nothing.
The only answer is Dog Welder?
No, I'm
I mean, I could like
Fine.
vote for Green Lantern, but it's not just one thing that you'd have to change. So we're not going to go into that, or at least I'm not going to go into that. If someone else wants to go into that, go ahead.
You can go into
Is Green Lantern your favorite superpower character?
Yes.
I mean, but Red Lanterns are better. You got Dexstar, the best Lantern.
Sure.
He good kitty. He good kitty.
Yes.
He killed.
Yes, but then we're going to get into discussion about
Is
the
it-
dog and the cat, and that's
It's literally a cat.
Yeah, it's a
actually
cat.
literally
It's a cat with the ring. I assume that,
Yeah.
but
It's
but
just
is
a
it-
domestic house cat with a Red Lantern ring.
that is just full of hatred.
Because he's
For
like an
rage.
alley cat, and a lady brings him in and cares
Oh,
for him.
I've seen the.
Yeah, you've
meme
seen the
in
origin
comic.
story. Yeah, that's Dexstar. He's still a Red Lantern. Like years
Oh.
and years later, Dexstar is still a canonical Red Lantern.
awesome.
And it's not like Rocket Raccoon, where it just looks like a cat. It's just a legit American tabby cat.
I like.
Which Green Lantern? Guy Gardner? Nobody likes Guy Gardner.
No.
No, nobody. I barely know the Green Lanterns, and I know Guy Gardner's shit.
Because all you know is that nobody likes Guy Gardner.
pretty much. He's got the guy. He's like the Mo of the Green
Yeah.
Lanterns.
Yeah.
Isn't he? He's
Yeah.
got the
He's the
bowl
ginger.
cuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's been probably like 15 years since I've read any of this stuff, but I honestly did like some of the earlier Hal Jordan stuff that I got when I was a kid. So, meh.
I mean, when I think
it's
of,
like it's a preference, but I've read like 20 of them, and they all sort of blend together. And I'm like, yeah, I remember Hal Jordan. I remember something fridges and something.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
Moving-
fridging.
yeah.
Unfortunate.
Yes. So, yeah, I can't actually provide a lot more detail than that because I don't really have strong opinions about superpowered characters for the most part. So,
Sure. Yeah.
I can't really pick out a favorite, honestly.
I wish Bill was a more of a frontline character.
which Bill?
Beta Ray.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I
Also known as Horse Thor.
no
Thor's.
That's racist.
no
No, it's speciesist.
Sure.
no.
At least he
And
was
that's-
in. At least a reference to him was in Thor Ragnarok
Yeah.
and Infinity War.
Yes.
What was the reference?
Well, Stormbreaker is
Stormbreaker. I mean,
his
so
hammer,
tangential, but yeah,
but yeah, Stormbreaker. It actually didn't really look that much like Stormbreaker.
it was an
either.
axe, not even a hammer. It was just the name. But even bringing the name Stormbreaker
Correct.
Yeah.
was cool for Beta
So
Ray
we could
Bill
just
fans.
hope that he shows up in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and Thor gives him Stormbreaker.
He could.
Yeah.
I can't remember if Hemsworth is one of the ones on his way out.
I don't know. I mean, we could always just get it one of the other Hemsworths.
Or one of
I
the-
mean,
yeah, there are plenty of them.
yeah.
It's like Baldwin's.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, poor Steven.
That was one of his brothers. His brothers played the actor playing Thor in Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they swapped them out
Yeah.
for the goofy sequence where Matt Damon was Loki and yeah. Now, I didn't realize that Matt Damon was also in Deadpool 2.
Yeah, he and Alan Tudyk are the hillbillies when Cable first shows up, talking about how their ass wiping technique.
God, that's such a good movie too.
So when are those? When are
You know
we
they're
getting those guys?
re-releasing Deadpool 2? Did you guys see
In the
that?
theaters.
They're re-releasing it PG-13 cut,
Oh God.
but it's bracketed with storytelling a
Oh
la
yeah, with Fred Savage reprising his role
storytelling
from
a
Princess
la
Bride.
Princess Bride, with
Yes.
Deadpool telling the story of Deadpool 2 to Fred Savage, now adult
Yeah.
Fred Savage, reprising his role as the
Yeah.
little sick kid.
Oh, what?
If you're going to re-release that movie PG-13, that is the most amazing way to do so.
What?
Yeah,
When is this out?
I'm not sure.
That's my new recommendation. Go see this shit. Holy, that's amazing. Fred Savage also is amazing too. The Grinder is probably one of my favorite TV shows of recent years that did not continue, and Fred Savage played a big part in that.
I am bringing up a picture I want to show.
All right, so let's go over Zappity Grumble. What's your favorite thing to cook? Mine is chili. I love making chili for my friends, and I think I do well with chili. I haven't got somebody that said I hate your chili, but usually people are too nice to say that.
Chimichangas.
Chimichangas. Are you just falling into the dead pool?
Well, no. It's just this is the combination of spicy Mexican food and deep fried food,
Yeah.
and I mean it is the intersection there, which is I mean it's ideal. Because I mean, I also come from a southern cooking tradition, and one of the primary elements of the southern cooking tradition is that if you deep fry anything, it gets better.
I'm curious though, because they also had one of the greatest things I remember about the Princess Bride is the fact that Strider was in the background with a couple Masters of the Universe toys. That's what I really remember about that.
My answer is
But
stir
I'm
fry.
hoping that they'll.
Stir fry's good, yeah.
It's easy. It's
Curry, very
tasty.
similar. Yeah.
What is it? What?
Stir fry. You
Oh,
put a bunch
sure.
of things in a pan and you put some oil in them and assorted spices, and then they're very good.
Yeah.
So I like making butter chicken.
Only one thing. Dave.
Roasts. I like roasts. If I have to specify one particular one, I very much enjoy making sauerbraten. Sauerbraten's good stuff. Oh yeah, you did chili.
Yeah, mine was chili. All right.
Zappity.
Grumble. If there were only to be one type of cheese in the world, what type should it be? I wouldn't want to live in that world.
But if you must,
No, I'm not living in that world. I'm going to go live in Equestria, where there's more tons of cheese.
Equestria is now the official fantasy
fantasy
fantasy world of Crippled System.
Oh, God.
well,
I'm sure there's cheese in Equestria.
But
there are female mammals.
yes,
Yeah.
Therefore, there is milk.
Yeah.
Therefore, there is cheese.
Yes.
really.
Th-
Are you sure you,
don't
want to
think
apply that
you
same
don't think
logic
they
to the
lactate?
real-
You don't think that the?
Oh, God damn it.
I mean, I'm not trying to go creepy here, but
Well, you failed your mission then.
no, I'm talking zoological, not sexual.
Sure,
Arctic
but
Circle's
it
getting
doesn't-
too specific. I am going to agree with him just for the last word, though. Cheddar. It's
Cheddar.
the most universally applicable cheese, right? You can do sandwiches. You can put it on crackers. You can use it in soup. You can use it for a pasta sauce. Cheddar is
just
the most.
having it around, you can change the flavor of it.
Sure.
so it's just-
yeah, like between less than a year old to 50-year-old, like you have such variety of cheddars.
It makes fine cheese.
It is the king of
curds.
cheese for a
It's-
reason. But yeah, no, I mean, you tell me you can't milk Pinkie Pie? It's a female mammal.
Yes, yes, but that doesn't mean that there is cheese. That creates the possibility.
You don't
for
think that their culture has developed the ability to create cheese? You think they just stuck at the milk level?
I'm going to abstain from any further discussion.
Was there... No, because this is actually might support your argument. Was there human milk cheese prior to animals being...
Okay, there's a canonical answer of this.
Oh, boy.
Because
Isn't
the
that
Weird Al Yankovic, when he was on My Little Pony, the pony he voiced was Cheese Sandwich.
Well, there you go.
And his cutie mark is a cheese sandwich.
But then the question is, where is the cheese from? Do they make it from their own lactation, or is there another animal that they have, what's the word I'm looking for? Domesticated,
Yes.
that they make cheese out of?
Yes,
and
it
how
is-
do they milk them? They have hooves.
They do a lot of things that would imply requiring an opposable digit. I don't know if it's all magic or if they have completely enslaved the little race of
Like,
dragons.
how do you siphon gas out of a car?
With hooves? What?
No, but that's probably how they get it.
But no, like that. Is the cheese pony cheese, or have they domesticated another species? I need to know this. Yeah, you keep looking, David.
I wanted to see if it actually says anything about the cheese in the cheese sandwich when that
It's just
spelling-
going to be a generic yellow cheese sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zappity.
Grumble. Out of all the movies covered by MST3K, which would be the worst to watch in its original form? There's just a lot of bad ones that they do.
That's a very
Specifically-
light yellow. It looks very American.
Yeah, it's specifically a grilled cheese sandwich.
Well, obviously. Who eats cheese sandwiches that aren't grilled?
I have observed people eating
Just
non-grilled
having
cheese
a mayo
sandwich.
mayo and cheese sandwich.
Yeah.
I've had that before. Well, actually, I've had Miracle Whip and cheese sandwich.
The go-to answer is Manos, but I think either Wild World of Batwoman or Monster A Go-Go. Probably Monster A Go-Go takes the cake. Although the version of Hamlet that they watched is fucking terrible.
Yeah, I don't know the episodes enough to be able to.
Monster Go-Go and Hamlet, I can't even watch the whole MST3K
Version
version.
of it.
It is like you sit there and you're like, guys, you aren't saving this. Like you aren't doing enough to overcome it. That Hamlet's really fucking
I don't
bad.
even agree with the Monster A Go-Go because I watched part of that and it was, yeah.
Tomato and cheese sandwich. Yeah, if you're gonna do a cold, I actually was thinking cheese and tomato sandwiches, and I say tomato because only British people eat cheese and tomato sandwiches. But yeah, I was thinking
you
about
like to make your sandwich haughty.
that. Cheese and tomato.
Oh.
What's that guy? You know, the guy from the movie.
Which movie?
Great, thanks a lot. Yeah.
You know, he shot the guy,
Yeah.
and then death didn't come.
It's not a well, yeah, you're talking about I shot somebody.
Yeah.
The
Last Action
Charles,
Hero.
Dance.
the
Charles
Last
Dance.
Action Hero.
Yeah.
Yes.
Charles Dance has a great story about a chimpanzee came over to his house for cheese and tomato sandwiches and tea.
What?
Yeah, like the chimp was owned by a friend of his, but the friend couldn't make it, so they just sent the chimp, and the chimp just walked down the street and just knocked on the door, and they invited in, and they had tea and cheese and tomato sandwiches.
No. Yeah.
They're pretty smart.
There was a couple of Zappity Grumbles in the back there, but
There's one about DC.
yeah.
There
So
it is.
what would be the next DC property to be added to the CW lineup that would be ruined by a soap opera theme? I think I agree with Nathan that Section 8 should happen. Yeah. Honestly, to be perfectly honest, the soap opera theme that's on CW, I think only ruins it for one of them, and that's Green Arrow.
Yeah.
Fucking A, Green Arrow is basically like every other CW
Because
show.
honestly, it's like if you're going for the soap opera theme, if you have Winnow Excellente and Dog Welder in a soap opera, it would be okay.
Yeah, I pretty much all the DC shows that are on CW are I like all of them. Supergirl is pretty good. The Flash is good at points.
You're a
Dog
big fan
Welder
of-
2, sorry, just to remind me, because I was showing a picture of Dog Welder 1 to Nick. Dog Welder 2 was superpowered, because Dog Welder 2 was able to call upon the powers of all of the spirits of all other Dog Welders to assist him in that final conflict. So he actually had Dog Welder specific necromancy.
Okay.
I just remembered that when he saves the world, that's how he does it, is by harnessing the spirit of all dog welders. And he seemed to have some minor dog control abilities as well. But that kind of came and went, kind of like when they let Spider-Man command bugs.
Yeah.
Or
Or
like-
Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or have
Spider-Man could command Ant-Man?
No, I'm saying Ant-Man
mean-
can command ants.
There was a period where Spider-Man got a lot of absurdly cosmic power crammed into him, because it turns out when you run a comic for 45 years, 55 years, whatever it's been, you got a lot of You get a lot of garbage in there over time, and so you get.
That's why they
Captain
reboot.
Universe
That's why they
or whatever it
reboot
is.
stuff every 10 or 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Zappity Grumble. And the last Zappity Grumble here is how much does Games Workshop have to do to get Nathan to forgive him? This is specifically for Nathan.
Jesus, a lot. Oh, fucking A. Make. I am to the point where I just say, you know what? They're not for me. Like, I don't mind their miniature games are garbage, but their other games are fine. They have good fluff, except for Age of Sigmar. It's mostly just Age of Sigmar at this point. Age of Sigmar is a goddamn travesty. Like, the fact that their heroes are, like, faceless Nazi automata, and you're supposed to root for them? Like,
You're talking about the
Stormcast.
the Stormcast. The Stormcast are horrific monsters. And, like,
Yeah, they're
it's
Space
more-
Marines.
Like, but even I'd say 40K, the Space Marines were pretty bad, but the Stormcast are beyond even
Yeah, but
that.
I mean, in 40K, I haven't really followed Age of Sigmar, but I mean, that was kind of the point of 40K's fluff, is that the good guys were Catholic
Everything
space
is-
Nazis.
yeah.
Yeah, the issue is it annoys me when I go to the hall and there's people playing, and the people playing those people unironically think they are good guys.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm the heroic Space Marines. It's like, no, you're not. You're really, really not. But that's not 40K's fault or Warhammer, GW's fault.
Yeah.
Maybe they could sell every Blood Bowl miniature.
Have you seen? Yeah. Have you seen the new? Have you seen new orcs for Space Marine?
I have not.
Or not Space Marine for 40K. The orcs, they're straight out of Mad Max.
Sure,
Like,
Of course they are.
fucking amazing.
that's cool.
They're all speed freaks. I always like the 40K orcs. Good. It's good to have some pod people once in a while.
Oh, also, they could not charge like $50 for a mug.
Yeah.
Or like 20 for a tape measure.
Now you're just being
Arctic Circle
unreasonable,
says you don't
Nathan.
root for anyone in any Warhammer product. I don't know. I mean, I have seen arguments that
Bretonian?
the Imperial Guard,
Imperial
the Imperial
Guard?
Guardsmen, not the
Yeah.
Guard, but the soldiers for the Imperial Guard, you can root for them because they're just dudes that the government said you're fighting over here. Like the Cadians are the Cadians specifically. The fluff is that the draft rate in Cadia is 100%. That it's like as soon as you are old enough to hold a rifle, you begin training because
Hold on.
Cadia
As
is
soon
under
as you're old
constant
enough to
war.
hold a flashlight,
Yes.
because they don't give rifles out to their troopers. They just
So
flashlights.
you can root for root for some of the Imperial Guard regiments because they're just dudes that are in a really bad situation.
I mean,
but just about everyone else is.
There is one faction that's wholly devoted to eliminating all crime, all poverty, all sickness, all starvation, all racism, all hatred, and unifying the entire existence in oneness.
Is that
So-
the Necrons or the
Necrons?
Chaos? Or
It's
Chaos?
the Tyranids.
I was going
obviously.
Tyranids.
Yeah,
Tyranids,
come on.
yeah.
Tyranids
Necrons
are the one-
not at all unified.
Yeah.
They are, in fact, actively factional.
Yes, Tyranids are trying to bring unity and peace to everyone.
By eating it.
Okay, you got a better plan? There would be no crime, no poverty, no hatred. A perfect utopia. All you have to do is let them devour all of your genetic material.
Yeah.
Small price.
No, the Tau.
They're good guys. I'll root for them.
Riddle me says the Tau. The Tau are space communists. They're like they're
Oh, so they are the good guys
They're
then.
they're a parody of Cold War era communist boogeymen.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, and like complete with like, oh yeah, we're the good guys. Also, please ignore these concentration camps and forced sterilization
And
regimes and literal mind
Re-education and
control.
literal
Yeah.
literal
So they're the
re-education
fascists
camps.
pretending to be communists, a la Soviet Union. Fair.
Well, they also have a caste system on top of that. So you're just getting.
They're
some
not even
extra
pretending to be
progressive
communists at that
garbage in there.
point.
Yeah. So no, it's pretty good.
Zappity.
Sean up higher asked about what cheese pairs well with mead, and the point is there's so many different flavored meads, it's hard to even answer that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, even just the 3 or 4 varieties I brought here, there was crisp whites versus heavier reds, and they also talked about mustard to dip cheese in. I haven't done that, but I love mustard and I love cheese.
I used to room with somebody that had they would get like a kielbasa sausage, and literally just dip that into a cheese container and
Seems
just
good.
eat it.
Yeah. On the earlier question of if I had to pick one cheese, while I accept cheddar as a reasonable answer for that, I would actually have to pick Gouda.
A little niche there compared. To
I mean, Gouda's like The issue is the question isn't favorite cheese. It's
Yeah.
if the world could only have one.
Right.
And cheddar's just so universal.
Well, yeah, because Gouda is almost as you can do almost everything you can with cheddar with Gouda, and I like the flavor of Gouda better. I mean, there are cheeses I like better than either cheddar or Gouda, but cheddar is universal and Gouda is almost as universal.
Dave just wants to force his cheese on everyone else.
Because I mean, you can go down to Hy-Vee and buy a bag of shredded Gouda and do the same thing with it. And I just like the flavor of Gouda better.
It may be Gouda, but cheddar's better.
But I mean, I could say a nice smoked gorgonzola
See, 'cause it
instead.
sounded
But there
kind
are
of like good.
a lot of.
I got that.
I could say a nice smoked gorgonzola, which I absolutely love, but it's just not nearly as universal as the others.
Fair.
Zappity.
Grumble.
Glob.
All right, off to recommendations. Actually, I should double check Twitter, but I don't usually see much on Twitter.
Fair.
Anybody got some?
I have, one and then 1.5 now. This is almost more of just a side topic because I can't recommend it because it doesn't exist yet. But we were talking about superheroes, and then we were talking about Spider-Man. And I was going to say, holy shit. Did you guys see the newest trailer for Into the Spider-Verse?
Oh, yes.
Where they showed fucking Spider-Ham?
Spider-Ham.
And the mech Spider and film noir Spider-Man
Here's
with
Nicolas
Nicolas
Cage.
Cage.
Yes.
Like, I knew that it had Miles and Peter Parker, and then the first
And
trailer
Spider-Gwen.
showed Spider-Gwen. So they just showed Miles and Peter in the first one, and then the second one added Spider-Gwen, and then this one added 3 more. And the fact that John Mulaney's Spider-Ham is in there, it's like, holy fuck, I am all
I could have sworn
in
I've
on this
seen.
movie.
I could have sworn I've seen Spider-Ham before in a trailer or some kind of footage from there.
Maybe there was a little clip that dropped somewhere that I just missed, but until that trailer dropped, I hadn't seen him or the anime mech girl or film noir Nicolas Cage. But oh my god, I am super excited for this movie.
So what is? I really love the look of Spider-Gwen. But what is? Is it actually Gwen Stacy?
It is.
Yeah,
It's
it's
from a
an
universe where she
universe.
doesn't die.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
okay. I thought it was just some.
Does Peter die in that one instead? Is that why she's
I don't remember.
Woman-ish?
I only know.
Moving on.
Yeah, I don't even know. I just know that she's from a dimension where she didn't die. It isn't just like in the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there's also a Gwenom.
Well, I know that there's that, and there's also Deadpool. That there's a Gwen Deadpool 2 or something like that. Too.
No,
There's Lady Deadpool.
No, you're thinking of Gwenpool, which is actually not Deadpool or Gwen Stacy. It's a non-Marvel person who enters the Marvel universe and is aware of the fact that she's in a comic medium, and basically is like a knockoff Deadpool, and at some point goes head to head with Deadpool, and then realizes she can't win because while her story is entertaining, she's like a C or D tier property compared to it's the Deadpool shtick, except with someone who's not just crazy, but is a rational, normal person who basically has.
But it has the same.
The superpower is genre savviness.
Yeah, it's just like there's multiple speedsters. Now there's multiple fourth wall awareness characters.
Okay.
Except
great.
she has no other superpowers, so she's actually like.
Yeah, she doesn't have the healing factor. She just has a fourth wall awareness.
Again, I say though that Spider-Gwen is probably one of my favorite alternate Spider-Man costumes. It looks
The design
really cool.
is excellent.
That and I'm a big fan of the Ben Reilly Spider-Man.
I'm a huge fan of Ben Reilly. I wish they'd stuck with it. I thought it was the bravest thing a comic book's done, like in our lifetimes at least, if not ever. And walking it back was cowardice.
Yeah. Do you know about the Ben Reilly one?
No idea.
So,
like, yeah.
there was a fight between Spider-Man and
Was it the Jackal? Because the Jackal's the
I
guy
think it
they
was the
keep having
Jackal.
do the clone stuff afterwards.
Yep.
But
so there was a fight between Spider-Man and the Jackal, which brought out a clone.
Yep.
And
named Ben Reilly.
named Ben Reilly, and technically Spider-Man died. Peter Parker died.
Well, it's beyond even that. The brave thing was they introduced this clone, Ben Reilly.
Yep.
Okay, and it's like, there's a clone of me. Fight, fight, fight. But the brave thing they did was surprise twist. Ben Reilly ain't no clone. Peter Parker is a clone of Ben Reilly, whose brain has been fucked with to think he's the real one. And so
that was like for 30 years.
yeah.
or 20 years
No,
or
it
something
was,
like that.
Ben Reilly was only true for like that was walked back fairly quickly. But they did this. Yeah, they
But I mean, the
Spider-Man
original-
was like 30 years old at this point, and they retroactively made his entire memory false.
Yes.
They said, you were never that guy.
Yep.
You are a clone as of a week ago. That was always Ben Reilly. It's the Final Fantasy VII thing.
Yep.
You know, that's what it is, where you play as Cloud, and you find out, wait, no, I'm the guy who's insane. So they did that, and then Ben Reilly was the real Spider-Man, and Peter Parker was a clone, and then they walked it back and go, actually, he lied. He really is the real guy. Sorry, everybody. Stop sending us hate mail. Fuck the hate mail. That was awesome.
Yeah, that I know that outfit's in Spider-Man as well.
Yeah.
And I need to play that game just so I can run around in that outfit. It was such a simple outfit. It
It's
was
just like a blue hoodie.
a red spider suit with a blue hoodie with like a spray painted spider
Yeah.
symbol on the front.
Like
It
the sort of
looked
thing
awesome.
that an actual, like
Yeah,
poor
they-
child would or poor teenager would make.
Yeah.
If they didn't have resources to make this high tech spandex suit
Yeah.
that he's had for.
Then
a
as
while.
you see his web
He was the
shooters
Scarlet
actually-
Spider. He just,
yeah,
yeah.
got a red suit and then a hoodie and
Yep.
a belt.
Yep.
We did it. Good job, everybody.
We got there. But my actual recommendation is, for the love of God, people in this table / elsewhere, play The Witcher 3. You can get it for like $5.
129 hours. I'm done. I've got like
You are
8.
not done with that.
You are nowhere near done.
Okay,
You're
It
not
took
done
me
with
200
that.
hours before I even got into the expansions.
Okay, I finished literally every quest in the main game in about 86 hours.
Something's wrong with you.
No, like I literally didn't have anything left except for to start a new game plus.
Go look for more stuff to
Oh
do.
my god.
Okay.
I did look for more stuff to do, and then I had to buy the expansions. I was actually very sad.
Sub recommendation. If you've already played Witcher 3, play it again. But a couple things, okay? Turn off your HUD. That game is beautiful, and a lot of it is like investigation, and somebody say, go down the hall and go over there and then talk blah, blah, blah. But really all you do is look at your minimap and follow a yellow dotted line in the minimap the whole time. So this isn't just Witcher 3. This is all of these games. Turn off that minimap. See if you can actually do the quests as if you were in there.
I don't want to read the quests.
When
I
they tell
like
you
going up
to-
to the guy with the exclamation point. The exclamation point then turns into a gray question mark.
No.
And then I follow this thing that points an arrow that points to where I go, and then there's a little blue outline. Go
That
there,
was-
and then I start killing things, and then eventually there's numbers that flash up that says I have completed killing 5 of these things. And then that blue area disappears.
Yep.
And then there's a yellow question mark where I started, and I go back there, and then I give him the heads, and then he gives me some money, and then sometimes another yellow exclamation point pops up.
Because
and I go to
immersion's
him.
dumb.
Yeah.
Immersion's dumb. So,
And
so
remember
I think-
back in original WoW when you had to tap Q to find out what the number was? Wasn't that miserable?
I think
Yes,
I
the
think
answer
Nathan.
is yes, in case...
I think
you can
Nathan
do
just
that
called
too.
you a filthy casual.
No, I'm just saying it's a different experience. Also, if your first time through you romance Triss, play again Romance Yen. If your first time through you romance Yen, play again and romance Yen, because Triss is garbage, right? So, go ahead, right? Replay the game. It's a great fucking game. It's one of those things. I heard this phrase about the film The Third Man. And it's such a great phrase because it has layers, which is, it's such a great movie that it's amazing despite how many times you've been told it's amazing.
Sure.
And that's what Witcher 3 is. You've heard that it's the greatest fucking game ever, and if you've never played it, you're like, my expectations are going to be way too high. They aren't. It is true. Just fucking play it. There, I padded. Somebody else talk.
I can do it.
Well, you all were quiet. That's why I jumped in with the second one.
No, you're fine.
Nope, too late. Third one now.
No, my recommendation is to prepare for Fallout 76. Go out and just play out one of the other Fallout games and play it through. Like Fallout 4. But instead of playing it in normal story mode, play it in fucking survival mode, because that's the way the game was meant to be played, for you panicking, slowly walking across a field, tapping your VATS button to hope that you don't target like a Deathclaw.
Also, turn off your map.
Yeah.
I'll stick by that one.
Andy, am I allowed to play like a good deathmatch survival game instead of Fallout 76?
I don't know.
Sorry, that
I mean,
was...
it turns out if they have private servers, it sounds like that game is going to be fucking amazing.
It's going to be different, right? It is not a RPG. Like, there's no NPCs, there's no quests, you know, so it's a different game. Whether that means it's shit or not, it depends on if that's the kind of thing that interests you.
Yeah. I am willing to at least give that game a shot
Perfectly
before,
fair.
or
Perfectly
at
fair.
least listen to what reviewers say, or watch some Let's Plays of it or something.
I'm with you. I'm being diplomatic. I have zero interest in Fallout 76. But, as with Warhammer 40K, the fact that I personally hate it doesn't mean I'm going to hate on the people who enjoy it.
That is fair.
You're just looking at just art from the Scarlet
He's
Spider?
still there? Yeah.
I'm going to recommend not playing Malekus.
That's a really good recommendation. I think that's.
I don't think it is. I really don't think it
Oh,
is. I think
God.
all of the experimentation that you've done on Saturday proves that he is a viable commodity.
Yes, but in David's mind, viable is garbage.
That's
Yeah, no,
that's
like
true.
he went 50-50, so he's literally a burning dumpster fire. Like we knew he was on
But-
fire already, but he's also composed of literal garbage from head to toe
Yes.
because he couldn't win.
He went
more than
50-50, and one of the ones he lost, he barely lost despite all the odds being stacked against him,
yeah.
and that's the sign of
Yeah,
terribleness.
that's pretty trash.
Well, the other side of that is that if I was playing Sirenia or Krios 1, I think I would have I would have won all 4 of those games.
Well, sure. And Superman is a pathetic, weak pansy because of that time he fought somebody made entirely out of kryptonite. Right? Like, there's a point where if something loses, it doesn't actually indicate its power level because it was just fucked in that one circumstance.
Well,
Did you have a pairing for this list?
my pairing was High Reclaimer, but
Okay.
I went in there with the express point of playing Malekus every game, regardless of how bad
So
it was.
no.
You
didn't have a
actively
pairing.
played a bad matchup on a bad scenario when your pairing had a bunch of high accuracy recurring weapon masters against a list that was composed of a bunch of very fast, hard-hitting, fragile heavies, and you went, I know what outcome I want, so I am going to remove these statistics that I would generate by playing High Reclaimer, and instead insert these other statistics by playing this caster that I know is going to get absolutely trash canned by this matchup and this scenario at the same time to get the outcome that I desired.
David rejects your reality and subjects his own.
He's a statistician.
I wanted to see how bad it was.
Yes,
And turns out it wasn't as bad as you
It
thought.
was not. No, I mean that situation. That game was not as bad as was not as bad as I. No, as I said, what sealed it was the one matchup that I did fantastically well in it was literally just the adjudicators.
So to continue my metaphor, the Justice League is beating the shit out of like a bank robber with no superpowers, and Superman's like, "Hey, you guys need help?" And they're like, "No, we got this." That's evidence to you that Superman is terrible and weak because he wasn't necessary. Like the adjudicator just pounding on some innocent list, like, "No, I'm fine, Mal." And you're like, "Well, Mal's terrible. The adjudicator didn't even need him."
Well, I'm glad that you came to that conclusion. Moving on, I recommend Monster Apocalypse because I spent like $120 on that game and I want a payout, so it needs to still be there in 2 or 3 years.
I will probably spend a bunch of money on it in a month, 2 months.
It's out now.
Yeah, but
no,
he
it's
doesn't
not.
care about the robots or
Oh
the,
no, he wants Martian Menace.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah. And it's the same thing with me as I want more of the Cthulhu.
Yep.
He's already said. Nick has already said that he's going to be playing,
be playing
Stupid
Guard,
Guard
yep.
and Shadow Sun Syndicate.
Boring,
So yeah,
boring.
exactly. That's what I said.
Yep.
He walked into the tournament yesterday after he played his game, and he had the stack of Mompock minis, and I'm like, "Oh, you forgot Guard." And he's like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Bleh."
Some delicious white bread and a bunch of guns.
Nathan, what out of the Protectors is the only viable faction?
I guess I don't know which ones are lumped into the Protectors now.
Guard.
I mean, the
ninjas
dinosaurs and the
dinosaurs.
monges.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Guard,
pterosaurs.
dinos, and ninja
Yeah.
sword.
Pterosaurs are
yeah,
the only
yeah.
viable faction.
Yeah.
in there.
Well, they don't exist right now.
And all the destroyers are all good.
Sure.
All 3 of them are good. I mean, the Planet Eaters, the Martian Menace, and the amazing Lords of Cthulhu.
Although, like, I don't mind, like,
I don't mind the
Power
Power
Rangers
Megazord.
and Pacific Rim. Like, Jaegers are cool.
I guess I don't mind the Guard as much, but the Shadow Sun Syndicate. I'm sorry, Ultraman. You can go fucking home.
You're not,
Fuck you, Ultraman.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's-
you are not Ultraman.
that's
You
fair.
just a cheap knockoff. Go home.
I would have happily accepted some sort of other shadowy criminal thing as the third component of it, instead of it being shadowy criminals, but they're Power Rangers. Okay,
No,
whatever.
they're just Well, that and Nathan and myself have a bad taste in our mouth from
Megazord
Zora
Maxim.
Maxim.
Sure,
Megazord Maxim.
I don't
For a
care.
long
That
time.
game no longer exists. We're playing the new
He's
new
going to
world.
come out. They're going to put him out, and it's
Sure.
going to ruin everything.
I don't know. I think they may have learned their lesson.
No, they released Haley 3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, and?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that fucking spell. The
What
fact
spell?
that the you can't beat me bubble off of all 3 of those goddamn fucking
You mean the
fucks.
one that is like strictly worse than the one that another caster now has that gives that and also steady to the entire army?
No, Haley 3 is a death debuff as well.
Sure, whatever. That same caster also has guided hand, so like, oh man,
Also, that same caster's one doesn't come from 3 different areas,
Sure.
2 of which are incorporeal and can focus camp.
And ridiculously high defense. too.
And a ridiculous high
Just-
defense,
just
and are
do-
behind a cloud wall.
just do what my opponent did round 1, which is make Kayazi into an arc node, run the arc node into the cloud, and remove Haley from play, because that's... No, actually, she comes back anyway. Okay.
Yeah, she comes back anyway.
Yeah.
That's the double dumb thing about those fucking things. The fact that even RFPing them, they just come back.
Hey, I
Yeah.
didn't get a corpse on Alexia when he killed her.
90% of my objections to Haley 3 would go away if RFPing those echoes made them go away
Yeah.
permanently.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, on the plus side,
There's so much RF.
every
Yeah.
release,
And?
every release in Mark III.
The Coven killing a
Has-
third of them, they're
yeah.
just gone.
Yeah, the Coven is almost an infinitely safer caster, though.
Yeah, but no, I mean, on the plus side, every release in Mark III has included one rule that's just fuck you, Haley 3.
Yeah, like literally every single one. Like,
Yeah.
Still not enough.
yeah, I understand that you have a bias and you are a hateful anti-Signar bigot, but
I'm not an anti-Signar basic bigot. It's just that every version of Haley ever released has made the game not fun.
oh yeah, no, that's just a fact.
I don't mind
understand that.
strong casters. I don't mind powerful. I don't mind winning. I care about the fact that it is not fun to play against her.
Even April Fool's Haley is not fun to play against.
Yeah.
But she's intentionally not fun to play against.
All of them are intentionally not fun to play against.
Yeah.
Well, like,
Well,
Haley,
Haley 1 doesn't even
or-
exist anymore.
well,
so.
yeah, but pre nerf Haley 1, it's like her back card said no fun allowed.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was an ability
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you didn't have to spend anything on, didn't have to do anything. At any time during this model's activation, no fun allowed.
Yep. So bad. So fucking terrible.
Jim
But now
in
we
chat
got
is asking when
Crochet
does
4.
Cthulhu drop? And
don't
Cthulhu,
know.
I think, is at the end of the month.
Yeah, I want to say
October.
late October, early November, unless it gets pushed back again.
Yeah.
Hopefully not.
It might be at War Machine Weekend, so go
Yeah.
there.
Martians are December, but I'm hopeful for War Machine Weekend.
Yeah. Hey,
Yes.
you'll be there.
I will.
I will be at War Machine Weekend as well.
Andy,
Probably
will you
playing
be
in the
there?
LCQ.
I have to be there. I'm helping run it.
Yeah.
That's a good contributing factor.
I'm theoretically on the group for that. But
Yeah. Yeah, stop
bring,
bragging.
I'll bring board games and alcohol because
Yeah.
that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can you bring
All
a
right.
webcam so I can remotely play TI with you while I'm stuck at home?
Just come to the event.
Yeah.
No, I can't. I have this thing called a job, and
On the
It's on
weekend?
the weekend.
yeah,
That sucks.
yeah.
Oh, it is on the weekend?
Yeah.
Oh.
In this case,
They
it
give you
is.
vacation time, you know.
They do give me vacation time, but if I had registered, say, in January, I could have dodged this, but I did not register in January. and now it's
Jesus,
like-
you have to plan out vacation
Well, it wasn't. It, would- it would-
11
it would
months
have been
ahead
like,
of time?
No. If I had registered it in like March or August or a number of other months.
Well, you could try October.
No, this is too late because I now have a commitment
No.
that must be met.
Have you tried job abandoning?
No.
You should. It's
I mean,
fun.
getting laid off
feels
work for
really
Jake.
good. I'll tell you that.
I don't know if it feels good if you like your job though, and I
Oh, I've
do.
never done that.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Never liked your job.
It's a perfectly valid choice.
All right. Well, thanks, guys, for
Yep.
watching, listening. We'll be not here next week. Unfortunately, I will be on my way back from Nashville and Chicago because I am going to SteamCon.
What's that?
That is Guild Ball's big lock and load style
next
event.
week?
That is next week.
Okay.
So
Why don't we talk
might,
about that?
huh?
Nathan gets to talk about Gwent all the time. Why don't we go into a 55-minute digression about Guild Ball?
He's always welcome to talk about
Yeah,
Guild Ball.
I
He just
choose
doesn't.
not to.
He doesn't shove it into everybody's throats like I do with Gwent.
I have another podcast for shoving into
Yeah.
Guild Ball. I mean, and there
And we have talked
the
about.
table is open to have a Gwent podcast.
I will check if
Yes,
if
but the question is, can we
Keith
have a
and
War Machine
Jim,
podcast?
Well, that's what
we
this is.
talked War Machine like nobody's business this week.
It was like 15, maybe 18 minutes of War
There's a
Machine.
lot
It
of
was
War
actually
Machine
terrible.
talking about it.
I'm talking about the praises of the amazement of Malekus.
Oh, God.
Oh God,
Dude, he won 2 games and
Proteus!
almost won. Yeah, it's Proteus again. Just like, are the cows in Equestria sentient?
No.
So the cows are just dumb animals?
Hopefully.
Are there?
I have no idea.
I don't know Equestria as much as I
I
should.
don't know the
but-
first thing about that show.
Are
so.
all the wildlife sentient? Because if so, because
I
the
don't
cheese
think
sandwich
so.
not only says there's cheese, it also says that there's eggs. Because that's leavened bread.
yeah. Now that I think, because one of the
God,
one of
this
the
just gets more concerning the more we
one of
talk
my
about
one of
this.
the ponies, one of the main 6 is keeps wildlife, and the wildlife don't talk. They just squeak like normal wildlife.
Okay,
does.
but
So,
are they,
yeah,
like,
there
what
are-
level wildlife? You say
Uh,
squeak. I mean, that's like a hamster.
Yeah, so-
like,
I mean,
does
it's
she
like
have like
bunny
goats?
size.
So I would guess that chickens are probably not sentient because,
But what about cows?
yeah, I'm
I
not.
don't know
A
if
cow is
I'm
basically just a
not
fat horse.
getting involved
How
in
do
this
they crack
conversation.
eggs with hooves?
Well,
Magic.
Well, no, that's
They have magic, and they have these little dragon
Wait.
people that are enslaved.
Fluttershy has normal wildlife?
Yeah.
Why the fuck doesn't Applejack have wildlife? She's the country girl. She should have a farm.
Because
Why
they-
the fuck would Fluttershy have a farm?
because liking wildlife.
Because
is
they put a
nice
because they
thing.
put a harness on her brother to pull the plow.
Yes.
On Fluttershy's brother?
Yes.
On Applejack's brother.
Yeah.
So Applejack's a farmer.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Fluttershy's a rancher?
Fluttershy is a crazy cat lady.
Oh, okay, so she has pets.
Yes.
Whereas Applejack does produce farming.
Yes.
Yes.
Not animal keeping.
Yes.
Correct.
And they hook her brother up to the plow.
Yeah, so this is like some like Iron Age, you're pushing your own plow stuff.
Sure,
There are
sure.
no domesticate labor.
There are no
beasts.
aurochs.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. So what the fuck do they milk? You can't milk a chicken. Is it rabbit milk? They say he's got rabbits. I want to taste rabbit milk. Can you make milk out of, or can you make cheese out of any milk, or do some of them not have the right like lactate level to curdle?
Well, I don't know why you're looking at me. It's like I'm.
I suspect you could make something cheese-like out of any milk.
Well, I know
Out of any
vegans,
mammalian
because they're insane, they sell breast milk ice cream. Because
Yeah.
that way you can eat ice cream without... I said they were insane. But is there breast milk cheese? Does
I'm sure
human
there's-
milk...
I'm sure there's human milk cheese.
you think
Yeah.
human milk has... Because I know it's really low in fat content compared to cow's milk. And like cow's milk is like 10 times as
Well, I
fatty
mean, cows
as
have
human
been
milk.
bred specifically for fatty milk. So
Sure.
I'm not sure.
Wait
I'm
a
not
minute,
sure how
wait a
much-
minute. Applejack has pigs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, pig milk.
Pig milk. Pig cheese. What does pig cheese taste like?
So what we're saying is that ham and cheese sandwiches are an option.
Oh yeah, dude! I want a ham and cheese sandwich made with pig cheese. So it's like the mother-daughter reunion Chinese thing where it's like the egg and the chicken in one dish, or like a platypus, you can make custard from its milk and its egg. So it's the only monotremes are the only animal that can single-handedly produce custard. Okay, well, there is a Google result for human cheese. We're not going to click it because it might just be somebody saying, I wonder if there is human cheese. Oh, no, that is pictures of human cheese. Okay, then.
Why did we click it? I think
I
is the
didn't.
important
Andy
question.
did.
All right, good talk.
You send me that link. I'll click it.
Also, I was looking
I saw a
during the
headline.
podcast.
Yeah, I saw a headline on an article on Facebook that I didn't click, but apparently somebody has brewed beer based on the bacteria found in men's beards.
Ew, that's, beard beer. Interesting. That's horrific.
Well, I mean, that's like the traditional. I mean, the traditional recipe for some styles of Scotch was you put the mash out in a bin and you opened it to the wildlife and hoped that something that fermented properly got caught.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, now I'm going to kill the podcast.
Yeah,
Okay.
seriously.
I did find some stuff with Lambert and Geralt, but there was more like a devil's triangle. There was no...
Oh, that's a drinking game.
Yeah, they were just
Yeah.
playing a drinking game.
Oh, great.
And they were boofing it up.
Oh, yeah.
Because drinking gives you gas. But yeah, I couldn't find any direct just gay sexing.
All right.
I know that was important to people.
Well,
Important. Good note to finish on.
True.